Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you all here. Hopefully your weekends existed. Mine did. It was busy but quiet at the same time. Of course, I worked half of it as usual.
Mm.
Do you have your weekends off or do you work? I usually work 6 days a week.
I work when I have deals to do. So I don't really get like weekends or whatever off. I'm just off when I have nothing to do, pretty much. Because I work for myself. So I work,
Right.
I buy and sell stuff. So if I have something to buy and sell, if it happens to be on a Sunday, it's going to be on a Sunday.
That
Make that
is
money.
fair. That is fair. Yeah, no, when you're self-employed, as I am as well, uh, you know, you make more money usually, but you have less time. It's just the way it works. But nevertheless, it's all right. We all choose what we Yeah, no, have. When you're self-employed, as I Oh,
Oh,
am as well. Oh,
oh,
great. Yeah, I fixed
oh.
it. That hasn't happened in forever. Why
What
was
happened?
that? I checked everything before, and I don't know, whatever. The internet said, "Ha, take that, you." All right.
Showed you. Showed
Yeah.
you, you man.
Because I always have to make sure my YouTube is muted, or that
Hmm.
happens, and I did, but yet it did. So, all right, great. I just shared on Twitter. The first thing I see is a dad carrying the mother and the kid on his shoulders. Yeah, as you do. Yeah, it's
Nice.
perfect. My wife she still remembers and loves to quote it. The When we were in Waikiki, living down there, the see, that is weird. I have to resync, I think. I had to, we were walking through Waikiki and there was just a billion people, right? So I was kind of sick of it. So I just picked up uh, um, the babies, folded I had two, folded the stroller, one of those double kid strollers, put it on my arm, looped it on my arm, put a kid in each arm and just went down the road. uh, you know, to deal with the traffic of people, pedestrian traffic. And she still thinks that is the coolest thing. I'm like, all right.
Japanese. They're very weak people physically.
They are. It's
They're
shocking.
easily impressed.
Easily impressed. Well, I am stronger than the average human because I'm
Sure.
freaking Norwegian, and
Oh,
I'm
you're a
big.
giant man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've met stronger people in my life on many occasions.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I have done a few things over here that I think have been written down on some wall in stone somewhere. But like my son is another thing he can't let it go. He was a kid. Some person he had these Mega Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they call it Rockman over here, and they have this little kids arcade game, and you'd go put your money in, well, my money, and you get like little random capsule cartridges, and they
Mhm.
would be of different characters, and you could put it in, and it would save your progress, and it's different than our arcade games, but it is clever. It's great for little kids. They had many of those. He loved those things. But
Hmm.
he had one of his cartridges, and some lady had just parked, and her back tire was literally on the cartridge and couldn't pull it out. So he came running to me in panic. Oh my God! One of his cartridges is under the wheel, and he wanted help. So I went over, I grabbed the back wheel of the car, picked it up, and took it out and gave it to him. And just was looking at me like, oh, he still remembers that. It's a freaking K car, dude. I mean,
Mhm.
it weighs hardly anything, especially the back tire. But
Yeah.
let's see, what was another thing I did that freaked out the Japanese? Oh, they have these little K trucks, and
Mhm.
I used to put it in neutral and pick up the back end of one and run it around the yard like it was a wheelbarrow.
Nice.
That was funny. Yeah, but yeah, no, the level of difference between a Scandinavian strength and a Japanese strength is shocking. Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're built. We are the power. That's our thing. We're not fast. We're not jumpy or twitchy.
It's
We're
strong.
power. We're powerful. Yeah, that's it. And yeah,
That's why they're
and
all the power lifters, or almost all of them, are freaking Viking men, big old Viking men.
yeah, yeah. We're just naturally built that way. All the different races have their physical and mental advantages and disadvantages. It's just it is what it is. I love one of the things that I was always told when I was a kid, and maybe you as well. They kept saying over and over and over, race is only skin deep.
Mm.
And you get the concept. You understand what they're on about. But then you kind of
Yeah,
older and you study anthrogenetics and all the stuff that I went through, or anybody can, and you realize, oh yeah, that's not true at all.
yeah, that's nonsense words, is what that
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Uh, we're very different, and that's okay. There's nothing
It
wrong
is
with that. That's
okay.
good.
It
It's
is
a good
okay.
thing.
You don't see us all, the rest of the world, absolutely whinging and whining over the fact that, black people are going to win the sports trophies. It is what it is.
They got that explosive muscle fiber. Just is
Yeah.
what it is.
They also, it's the tendons, right? They bounce back. They
Mhm.
spring back or snap back like a rubber band better than the rest of us. That's why they dominate athletics. And then when you combine that with, because most black people in America, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but you're about 60% European.
Oops.
Oopsie. But when you put those two together, you get frickin' Mark Henry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He's the man. I like Mark Henry. I'm a
yeah. I
big fan
love
of Mark
Mark.
Henry.
Now, I don't know of him as a human being, but I love the character of
Oh,
Mark
he's
Henry. It's
fine.
awesome.
He says stupid things sometimes, but doesn't everybody? It's
I don't know.
fine.
I haven't paid attention. But I liked him in the ring though.
Oh, he was great,
Yeah.
especially because he wrestled exactly as he should. He's not out here trying to do anything fancy.
No, and he's
He,
great for you need there's certain characters you need for certain things.
yeah,
Like Mark Henry, what's the guy we were talking about last week, the freak of nature Scandinavian guy. Um,
Lesnar.
yeah, Brock Lesnar, yeah, the Badger. Um, he though we you need those for like say Royal Rumble. You need one of the guys to come in and kind of clear it out, right?
Hmm.
Someone that's reasonable. Kane, and it's interesting they use Kane in that way to clear everything out. I don't know his name, but I do know he's like the mayor of something now.
He is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. I don't know why this county has a mayor, but we'll go with it. And at least I'm pretty sure he still is. I'm pretty sure he still is. And his real name is Glenn Jacobs. That's his real name. Most
That's such a
whitest fucking
normal
name.
name, yeah.
Whitest name you ever heard.
The Red Machine, man.
Oh
But
yeah, he's the man.
yeah, no, he was great. He was so much fun. And of course, they played that long storyline with him being the brother of the Undertaker. Yeah.
Hmm. There's people who still ask him. I saw him do a podcast together. So yeah, people still ask me, come up to me and ask me if I'm actually your brother. Of course, they're not actually
Well, they
brothers,
don't
but
even look like the same race of people.
well,
They're different.
they're like really good friends, but they're not brothers, right? I mean,
Well, they've
there's
been
two
working
big
together
guys.
for decades, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they be friends? I imagine most of those guys are friends. I mean, there's some people that might get on nerves or do things they shouldn't. Like, what was his name there? He was very successful in the ring with marketing. HBK, Heartbreak Kid. What's Shawn
Oh,
Michaels?
Shawn Michaels. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a bit of a
very
douche, though.
successful character, but rumors are that he's very annoying
Yeah.
amongst the wrestlers. But I imagine for the most part, they must get along real well. I mean, they have to work together. And that's the thing if you're not a wrestling fan, then you wouldn't understand the concept that when you see two wrestlers working together, particularly if one of them has any notoriety at all, right? They chose to work with that person.
If
That's not
often, yeah. Especially
that
if they're, yeah, like you said, if they're high ranking.
Yeah, yeah. And this has created a lot of consternation over the years. And it's something that I've seen people both complain and praise about Vince McMahon. The fact that he allows it. If you don't want to wrestle someone, all right, let's find someone else. He kind of he supports it, it seems. And then other
Yeah.
people think the wrestlers shouldn't have any say in the matter at all. It should be all
Well, because,
100% corporate.
he doesn't actually want people to get hurt, right? He doesn't wanna deal with that for
No,
1,
shit,
and for
that's
2,
pain in the ass.
he's not a complete monster, right? Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't wanna deal with it. So, it's better for his business if the people wanna work together, if they have good chemistry together, if they're not out there doing stupid shit to each other. Uh, it's better for everybody because that's the name of the game. It's trust. You're literally, I mean, these moves are dangerous. If you fuck it up, you die. So a lot of them, many of them, in fact. So
yeah.
you got to really have a lot of trust for that person. And if somebody's out here doing something stupid, well,
Yeah.
well,
Well, and then also you run into issues that you had with Brian Daniels. Of course, I think he was being called what
Daniel
was
Bryan.
Daniel Bryant. Yeah, they switched it for some that genius.
Yeah.
But not really. But they had that whole run, going
Hmm.
on. Of course,
Yeah.
the idea that Vince hates the guy and he's too little. It was, and Vince was laughing at himself with that.
Yeah.
But that was going great. They were having great. That was when my kid was watching, and it was a lot of fun. And he got
Yeah.
legitimately hurt. And then what do you do, right?
Yeah.
Um, so what did I think he tore one of his shoulders or something like that? Something he did.
He kept getting concussions. He got really bad concussions, and like really bad. So they had to sideline him, and then he started having neck issues, which that happens.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's kind of the death knell. Like you
Right.
can't mess around with neck issues. You can't mess around with concussions. But he came back eventually because
He did.
medicine's so outrageously, ridiculously amazing nowadays.
They're
They solved
called
it.
illegal drugs, but
They
um,
they solved it. They
th-
solved his problem. He
they
had he
did.
had a whole bunch of surgeries. It took him years before he could finally get back in the ring, but he did.
Yeah,
He
but this was a perfect example of they don't want their dudes getting hurt, so they want people in there that aren't so stiff. Stiff
right,
meaning, don't know how to look after each other is what that means. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, wrestling's just fake." Well, it is choreographed for the most part, but it's a well trained choreography. And
right,
often it's there. There isn't there are many times when you have a big match, they will do a lot of practice with each other to just kind of get in the rhythm and, oh, we want to pull this move off, we want to do that. Sure. But other times they just kind of get together, but they're professionals. So they have all their little codes and their little cues to do the various things they do and to do it safely. And
right.
you the level of athleticism and just toughness from these guys is impressive. It is impressive. Especially when you get into someone like, say, a Dolph Lundgren, not Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Ziggler. Sorry,
Well, Dolph
very,
Lundgren too.
very different. Yeah, him too. Very different size wise. But Ziggler is your perfect example of a guy who is absolute ultimate professional. He's going to be looking after you every second you're in the ring, and he's going to sell you like crazy, boy.
Yeah,
He's so good. He's we often, for me, if you ask me the quintessential wrestler, I'm going to say Randy Orton because
mhm,
he is the package, right? And he looks like a
yeah,
wrestler. But honestly, the honest answer to that is Dolph Ziggler. That's the
he's pretty
ultimate
good.
wrestler,
He's
because
pretty good.
he serves the purpose of exactly what he's supposed to do. Did they ever give him a little bit of a run just for fun?
Well, so what happened is kind of similar to Daniel Bryan, actually. He was always the guy who was right at the cusp for years, right? And then he won the Money in the Bank, and he cashed in and was world champion for a while, but he got hurt. He got a concussion
Yeah,
again. And so they had to take the belt off of him, and he just never got that momentum back. But
yeah,
when he cashed in, that was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in the
yeah.
history of pro wrestling. The
No, we
people were
love Dolph.
really behind him.
Yeah, because we understand what he's doing, right? He
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Ted DiBiase, actually.
Yep.
It's very similar because Ted, another a guy who was really good at what he did, and he was more of a foil than Ziggler. pretty much
Hmm.
always a foil with him playing the Million Dollar Man. But he was really good at selling people and ring management and stuff like that. Ted DiBiase gets a lot of, he doesn't get the credit he deserves in that regard, I think. Um, but they also have very similar style in the way they do things,
Oh, yeah, no,
DiBiase.
DiBiase was it's a pretty good analogy actually. He's that same kind of guy. He was always good enough, but it just never materialized for whatever reason.
Yeah.
In WWE anyway. He was world champion other places, but in promotions that don't matter, if we're being
Well,
honest.
well,
Um,
yeah, but their jobs are different. They're not there to be the superhero. That's not their job, and
right.
they know that, right? I'm just saying, occasionally you give them a bone, right? You give them a bone for all
Yeah.
their hard work, right? And
Well, you
they both.
also let's see. You never know. Maybe it takes off, and now you got a superstar.
That's
It
right.
just happens
It
sometimes.
it
You just
does.
never know.
John Cena,
Yep.
because that's what
He's a
he
perfect
was.
example,
He's a perfect
unfortunately.
example, and the way he took off was on the mic because he did a little rapidy rap.
Little rippity rap,
Isn't
rippity
that
rap tap.
isn't that ridiculous? Most people, do you realize he's literally a hip hop rap star? That's what he is.
Yeah, he sold 1 million copies. He's a platinum artist. He's the
Yeah,
only one to ever do it.
yeah.
He went platinum and never released another album. He's the
So
only person to ever do
take that, Snoop Doggy Dog. Okay,
it. I
all
do
right,
think that's kind of funny though. He went platinum, which is like the thing you want to do, right?
right,
Which
sure.
is huge. And then he's just like, that's good. That's good. We're
I
not doing
think
that
I
again.
think I went brick once.
You went brick.
That was a joke. What's one of the lower colors? You know. But yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I actually have done studio work on platinum albums. Of course, I had
Sure.
nothing to do with us, but mostly it was. I think the one that, yeah, the one it was definitely most certain. I haven't checked it, but I'm making an assumption is the Sting's first solo album. Pretty sure
Hmm.
that went platinum. Um,
I'd
and
imagine it's Sting.
yeah, so we were involved in that, and his other one too. I don't think the Shaka Khan one went platinum, but yeah, it's still kind of cool to be tangentially attached to things,
Sure.
Like I take a lot of pride in all the tunnels of which were built because I delivered dynamite.
Yeah.
You know, I have very little to do with it at all, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. You know, it's kind of neat to like, oh yeah, yeah, I brought dynamite for this. Wouldn't have happened without me. This mile long tunnel. Yeah.
There's a lot of
Most.
tunnels over in Japan, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's a highly mountainous place, and they don't build on the mountains because they're afraid of earthquakes, which is weird because in certain places, like, say, Nagasaki, they do. And of course, they can build on the mountain just fine. But they don't. So they build in these little coastal valleys, right? Or
Hmm.
worse, mountain valleys, because those things are going to get hot as hell, right? If you
Oh
get a
yeah.
little valley that's just surrounded by mountains, they can be beautiful. That's an interesting thing. Sorry, this is a tangent, but
He's going off.
we humans, there's a thing built into us about love and awe of mountains.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I know we find a sunset beautiful because we evolved on this planet, right? I mean, that's
Right.
why. I mean, it's, our entire bodies are built to be in this environment. So, you gotta take that into account. But why the mountain? The sunset is they are beautiful in color, but why do we care about those colors? A sunrise, you would think, would be more beloved because the frickin' nightmare of the dark is done and the sun has
Mhm.
returned. But then, if you go back in history and take a look, we use our words incorrectly today in our translations and stuff, and there are many examples of this. Forever, the color for boys was pink, but now
Mhm.
it's blue, right?
Mhm.
Um, for the longest time, when we used the word day, whatever language it was in, of course, English is a new language, but when we used day, that was talking about the coming of night, not the coming
Mm.
of the morning dawn.
Mhm.
There's a lot of little weird things with how modern. how modern perspective is different than it was in the past. But it's also kind of just looking at how we view things, and perplexing question. Why is dusk beautiful? Why are mountains? It's hardwired into us, dude. When
Yeah.
we see a mountain, it's just awe-inspiring to us.
Hmm.
You understand why the gods all live on mountains. We get it when you see a mountain. Like
Yep.
I started watching the Olympics here in Italy, and by the
Yep.
way, honestly, if you're gonna have a Winter Olympics, just keep it in the Alps. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't
built
understand
for
why
it.
we're what we're doing here.
Yeah. Summer Olympics, sure, you can throw that anywhere. But Winter Olympics, dude, it's made for the Alps. I mean, come on. But just going around Milano and Cortina and the places in between where they're doing all this stuff, holy crap, dude. Just the vista. The vista.
Yep. The vista, the
Gorgeous.
Windows Vista of it all.
Dude, it's just gorgeous, right? But I wonder
Yeah.
why that is. Why are we hardwired for just having awe toward mountains?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because our ancestors really liked to live in them because they were relatively safe. Right? Not a lot of predators in mountains, especially if you go into the mountain.
Yep.
Um, I don't know.
Of course, you got
What I do
floods,
know,
which do happen.
yep, yep, you can get up above them. What I know for a fact is that I'm never more at peace than when I'm in the mountains.
Yeah.
I was born to be in the mountains.
Hmm.
That's where I should be. I shouldn't live in the Ohio Valley. I should live in them damn mountains, but I don't because
Yeah.
I'm dumb. I
And
like to suffer.
yeah, and me too. Because I mean, I've lived in and been in. I'm in the mountains right now. I look out my window. Ooh, mountain. But
Hmm.
I didn't grow up with that. I wasn't born into that. I'm from Rhode Island, the most flat place on earth.
Hmm.
I mean,
And
I mean,
and small.
and small, well, that too, but, it's just flat. There are no mountains in the horizon, there's just clouds. Now, of course, if you go to some place that has no vegetation, it feels even more flat and open, like the Midwest. But,
Hmm.
you know it is interesting. It's always been, and I just had that thought come to me, what, 2 days ago. My wife and I enjoy the Olympics. I know these days viewership has pretty much died. And of course, it doesn't help that you have a bunch of idiots that get up and speak and say dumb things at the Olympics. Of course, people are like, why would you do that? And they're complaining about these American idiots complaining about Trump being political in a
Yeah.
sporting event. But it's not like it's first time it's happened, guys. I mean, I can recall back what was the late '60s or mid '60s. You had a bunch of those black guys standing up with their leather gloved hands up in the air. Solidarity. So this has happened before. You also had the what was the German fellow there during the Nazi Olympics, and what was the black guy's name? He was a real good jumper.
Can't
Um,
remember his name, but I was gonna mention that, but I was hoping you could remember his name.
I can't remember his name, but he did well, but he's overly remembered because of the situation, not his talent. He's no Carl Lewis, right? I mean, that's a frickin', forever hero. And this is
Yeah.
the thing these idiots don't get. Sure, the Democratic Party might throw you a few bones initially, but they're not going to stick with you. And the Olympics only last a couple of weeks, and it doesn't have much glow beyond it, right? But the conservative peoples in America and around the world, I'm assuming, if you become an Olympic hero, you will be remembered forever, dude. Look at Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
Still respected. Now, to be fair, Bruce has gone weird, but he also doesn't say dumb things on top of it. Like, the transgender athlete thing. They thought they had a winner with him, and he's like, "No, why should men play with women? What are you talking about? It's not fair." He's
Hmm.
very reasonable, even though he went weird. But of course, it seems that well, he didn't go weird. He's always been weird. But he's beloved, and he hasn't lost that because at least he's reasonable. But you've seen these kids getting up and complaining about Trump and like our community, which I'm assuming means the other sex community, is under attack. And I'm like, where is it under attack? He's the most supportive president we've ever had of the othered sex.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say Barack Obama, who's probably a gay dude, right? Or at least bi. We didn't see him up on stage waving a rainbow flag, did we? Did we?
No.
No. Did we see Big Mike up there with that rainbow flag? No. Right? So, I don't know what they're on about, but of course, they're just idiots that listen and believe. But you're going to find out, I'll tell you what, because the American people don't forget that kind of shit, dude. I don't care if you win or not. We don't forget that kind of shit, and your name will be forgotten instantly. And those Democrats you're trying to ploy to, they got to forget you as well, quicker.
Oh yeah.
Because one thing we see about the liberal peoples, they have no loyalty whatsoever, at all. I mean, they don't. They dropped Biden like a freaking hot potato. Kamala as well. They dropped Obama, their golden child. They've turned their backs on him because it's all about what's convenient. Their actions tell in their strategy, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly and completely.
You know, it's you saw those idiots getting up and talking, right?
Well, not really, no, because I don't give a flying white dog turd what you want to talk about the most useless of all athletes? I'll tell you why it's the Olympic ones. They don't make
Okay.
any money.
No,
They're a
well, not
sink.
not in America. They don't. Yeah.
They're a complete sink for the economy. We shouldn't even entertain this bullshit. We dominated anyway. What are we doing? Like we're just going there to kick the retards around. That's all we do. It's us
Yeah.
in China kicking everybody around. What are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
why bother with this? It's a big waste of money. It's supposed to it fosters goodwill. To who? Who?
Well,
China hates our fucking guts. India hates our fucking guts. Russia hates our fucking guts. Who we foster goodwill with? Europe? Fuck Europe.
well,
The
even
hell do I care what
those.
Europe thinks?
That's right, and even those countries you just mentioned, trying to foster goodwill with, mostly they send their athletes to America for training anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why things have balanced out in recent years. To be fair, we used to dominate unquestionably, but now it's not questioned, particularly in the Winter Olympics. Now that's always
Yeah.
been weaker for us in the summer, but America's dominance in the Olympics has ended. It's not as it used to be, and that's
It's largely
because
because
every
most people agree with me.
yeah,
We just
I
don't
think
care.
interest, and of course the funding for Olympics in America. Other countries do, federally fund it, but in America, it's funded by taxpayers, right? Meaning
Right.
directly. When you do your, I don't even remember what it's called. What's the standard tax form? W
Uh,
10, W 4? No, that's the oil.
W10 yeah,
10
10
W
W40.
40. Yeah,
A W40, yeah, or
yeah.
1040 EZ, that's what it is. 1040
Okay.
EZ is the standard one.
Um, but on the back, you have things you can check to give a couple of
Yeah.
bucks of your return
Yeah, I always tell them to
to
fuck
stuff.
themselves.
Yeah,
Get
I
out of
always
here.
clicked it.
Vultures,
But
get out of here.
nevertheless, I
You gonna
think the
send some of them hot volleyball players my way if I click this box? No? Then I don't care. Get out of here. Get them
men
out.
or the women,
Listen, the men can do. We can work out together. I can get in really good shape. Some of them dudes is jacked.
they are jacked, dude. Yeah, they are. That is true. But one of the reasons why things have equalized, America still tends to win the majority. But the reason it's equalized is because everybody trains in America. Everybody, even the
Yeah,
Russians train in America, right?
evil Ruskies.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the evilness, but that's the narrative.
I
Yeah.
was being
Anyway.
facetious.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
no, the I think the real problem is you have two main problems. One, they're just boring most of the time. Two, America dominated for so long that what are we doing? Like, why am I watching this? It's like it was like remember when the Super Bowl was just dog shit because it was always a blowout for like almost 20 years. It was just a
Wow.
blowout every
NFC as
time.
NFC. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch. A lot of
Yeah.
people didn't. They was like, what's the point? Um, and it was kind of the same thing, I think, with the Olympics. Plus, you also have, a lot of these people go over there and they make it into a political statement, like you were talking about. And I think a lot of people who just don't give a flying shit about what some dumbass Olympian thinks. Listen, if you were over there because you're genuinely a brilliant motherfucker, okay, you can have an opinion. You're over there because you're naturally gifted and you worked really hard on your body. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
That's
Good
great
job.
work. But shut the fuck up. Unless you're talking about your sport, just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Your opinion means nothing. I don't even care if you like America. Just shut the fuck up. Just take
Yeah.
your medal or whatever, say thank you, and leave.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah, same thing. You and Ricky Gervais would get along really well.
Yes.
The black athlete from the German Olympics was Jesse Owens. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it was Jesse something. I
Jesse.
couldn't remember what it was.
And not to take anything away, but he's like I said, he's no Carl Lewis. He did well at a couple of things, and fair enough. But the
Mhm.
reason he's famous is because of all the media rhetoric. Because keep in mind, in America, who controls the media? Go ask
Oh,
Mel
yeah.
Gibson; he'll tell you.
You're not
Um,
allowed to ask that
yeah,
question, Chester.
and they were really pushing against the evil of Germany to, the Germans are this and that. And of course, still at that time, the Americans were like, yeah, no, we kind of get why Germany is upset about stuff. We get it. We kind of
Yep.
support them.
Yep.
Um,
They like
and
they had like 40% national support in America, something like that.
Yeah,
40,
yeah, yeah,
45.
and
Really high.
it really high. And of course, there was a lot of propaganda to get into that war, and those Olympics were definitely that. But
Yep.
with Jesse Owens, so so it's a mixed bag with him. He's not a level of athlete like we saw come later, right? But none
Hmm.
of them were. Let's be fair. The level of athleticism in that time is dwarfed by now, and it's because of modern techniques and technology and drugs and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of
So
it's medicine too.
yeah, yeah,
Medicine's just better.
yeah, it is. And some of the stuff, in the past is better. Like if you want to buy anything made that isn't made of plastic or thin paper, you want an old version of it. It's really weird.
Hmm.
Like in auto repair, and if you have a choice between trying to repair an old part or just buying a new one really, really cheap from China, what do you do? Well,
Right.
you repair the old one because the quality is just way better, right?
Hmm.
But it's not all things are equal in this regard, is what I mean. But yeah, because I mean, I think our greatest athlete, you meaning track and field, right? Our greatest athlete of all time, I'm pretty sure, is Carl Lewis. Grimlock, you want to check on that? He's one of your people.
That is incorrect. The greatest athlete of all time is the American dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Don't let no other tell you
That's true.
otherwise.
That's
All right,
true.
that's
That's
fine.
accurate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, that's true.
He actually was an incredible athlete. You ever see him play basketball? He could ball. I was surprised. I watched that somebody had a video of him at some
Oh
charity
yeah,
game, and he was draining them jumpers, just draining them. I said, "Whoa,
he was
big boy can
he
move."
he was with the New England Patriots back when they were still called the Boston Patriots before he became a wrestler.
Right.
Hmm.
Dusty was a freak of nature. Like I know he doesn't look like when we talk about athletic freaks of nature. We usually don't think of a guy like built like Dusty Rhodes, but Dusty was a freak of nature.
What do you mean? Mean
Yep.
beach ball?
Yeah, big old round man,
Yeah,
a
big old
round
round
one.
man.
Yeah,
Well, I
but
remember seeing him in an early match because I'm older, right? This
Mhm.
was not WWEF. This was something else. WCW.
probably
No, no,
Florida,
and something.
NWA probably.
Yeah.
NWA,
But
the
I
old Vince
remember
days.
watching this guy in the 70s, right? He was a pretty old guy by that time, right? And I remember seeing him come into the ring because I used to do kind of entrances, very boxing like entrances, right? The way they used to do it.
Right.
Now they have all the music and the pomp and circumstance. But anyway, he came in and he charged into the ring. The other guy ducked out, right? Theater. And he went post to post and he climbed up on the rope the ropes, putting his hands up for the people to cheer, and then he kind of did a half twist, jump off the rope, rolled on the ground, ran to the other one, did the same thing. I was
Nice.
like, you are way too big to be doing stuff like that.
He was a big boy.
But
He
He
was a
liked to
big
eat.
boy, but
every,
damn,
every now and then we ran across those freaks.
you do.
Bam Bam Bigelow,
Yep.
Vader would do another
Oh,
example of
dude,
that.
it's really a shame why'd you have to bring up Bam Bam, dude? That's a shame. And it's
Yeah,
not that's not a lot of people give all that hate to Vince for Bam Bam. And there's a little bit of that because he probably Bam Bam was probably insufferable.
he
But
was.
nah, his drug use was his problem, right?
Hmm.
He was his problem. But what a shame because Bam Bam Bigelow was awesome, dude.
He
Awesome.
was.
Love Bam
It's
Bam.
it's kind of funny considering the WWF roster at the time, but yet Bam Bam's drug use was a bridge too far for Vince.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that
it
was just
was
too much.
bad, dude. It was bad. I mean, I think he's dead now because of it, isn't he?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been gone. He's been gone quite a long time. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm just thinking if you look at the people on the roster during that time period,
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
we are talking about we are talking about the Hall of Fame of drug users. We got Jimmy Snuka on the roster, okay?
That's fair. That is fair.
They
You
got a
know,
guy now, Chester. His name's Bronson Reed. He's a big old round uh Polynesian,
uh-huh.
and he
Another
he
freak of
he can move. He can move, but he's a big old boy. He's got to be 450 if he weighs anything, but he can move. It's impressive. You see them big frames just moving.
It is. It always impresses me, actually. Let me go see here. Bronson Reed. I'll show it on this
and
side here.
before we go any further, because I don't know if we had talked about it. Did you talk about the passing of the legend Sal Buscema in the past couple of weeks?
No, did not.
Well, yes, we lost another one.
Hmm.
We lost Sal.
Oh, he's
Uh,
very Bam Bam-esque, isn't he?
Yeah,
That
yes,
is Bam Bam-esque. Although Bam Bam's legs were tighter than yours, buddy. Get it together. Um,
yeah.
yeah, he's very
No,
Bam Bam body, dude.
his big finish is he just does a big splash off the top rope.
I'd say he's more powerful than Bam Bam, though. Look at that. This guy could probably move some weight, dude.
Oh
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's a beast.
the matches him and Braun Strowman had, that series of matches was oh damn, almost 2 years ago now.
So who passed away now? Who'd you say passed away?
Sal Buscema.
That sounds real familiar.
Yes, John Buscema's brother from the old Marvel days, the golden
Oh
days.
yeah, okay. You went and you switched it on me. Yes, I did mention his death. Yeah, we did talk about him. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, because we were talking wrestling, and all of a sudden you're talking comic books. Um,
Yeah,
yes, Buscema,
I'm just
comic books. Okay, yeah,
I
he's
forgot if you did or did.
no, we did mention it offhand because it came up. You probably brought it up, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, this is the Incredible Hulk guy.
And
Sal Buscema
spectacular Spider-Man because
and
I've been
Spider
seeing a
Man
lot
as
of people
well.
post.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
seeing a lot of people post that run, and I'm just thinking that because that was like the beginning of my Spider-Man collecting days during that
really.
run to yeah the Matthias Buscema spectacular. Then you had I think they had just started the Michelini Bagley team up with Amazing, and then McFarlane doing the Spider-Man book writing and illustrating. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I was like, this was like, yeah, around that age. I was like 7. I
I
was just
see.
getting started,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
looking.
yeah. They
Mm,
came out when you were came out in '88. But yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. It's about when you start, because I was probably around 5 to 7 when I first got my first comic book. At 7, I guess. I can't remember, 6 or 7. I remember we looked it up because I remember the cover of the Daredevils, the first thing I bought, because my mother wouldn't do nothing, right, with as far as I was concerned, with me, but Grandma would, and Grandma would, take me and we'd walk all the way down to the convenience store with Cumberland Farms, which was a bit of a hike. But those old people, man, they had no problem walking around. And went down, and I was gawking at the comic books, I guess. And my grandmother said, "Would you like one?" And I was like, "Yes, please." And I picked the Daredevil in the yellow costume. And that was my very first comic book. And then, of course, later, when I was a bit older, I discovered that my one of my uncles was a big comic book fan, and there was a whole like frickin' steamer trunk upstairs of comic books and graphic novel, all variety of stuff, going way back to like the 50s, right? And
Right.
that was the end of that. Yeah. So, but it was a lot of fun, comic books as a kid, and then of course as you get into an adult, it becomes fun in a different way. And of course, there you find comic books that are more geared toward adult, readership, rather than little kid stuff. Unfortunately, these days, and Mike Miller, which I don't have an update on him, I'm hoping he's doing well. But one thing Mike was a proponent of that I 100% agreed with was the fact that we've stopped selling to kids, and it's like,
Yeah,
what are you doing, right?
that's been one of the biggest problems, and it's it's one of the I think it's one of the single biggest problems. Like if you had to make a top three, I know we've talked about the wokies and all of that shit,
Sure,
and that's
sure.
that's a close number two. But the fact that you priced you say these are for kids, but you priced them out of the fucking hobby 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago now.
Right. No, you
Um,
did. That's right. Yeah, that
because
boom of the 90s is we're still feeling the sting of it. Yeah, you're right.
like even in the 90s, like you know, just like how you said, you went to the grocery store with your mom or your grandmother. I'm like,
Yeah.
I used to do that. I could go to like a local grocery store or a newsstand or Toys R Us or like some place like that, and you could pick up a comic, and you all you needed was $1,
Yeah,
and now,
that's it. Or less. Or less.
yeah,
When I
oh
was
yeah,
little.
if
Um,
if you went somewhere where they had back issues,
yeah, or
you could get
just when I was younger, it was under $1 often. Um,
Jester, I'm confused. Maybe you can clear this up since you're a Japanese now.
yeah.
Uh, I thought she already won her election. Your prime minister. What was the election that was happening?
Oh,
I see all these things about her winning an election. I'm like, didn't she just win an election? How many
well,
elections she got to win?
first of all, I can answer that very simply by saying that I imagine there are little teeny countries around the world that have tried to emulate America beyond just stealing our Constitution and taking out the parts that they don't like, like the Bill of Rights. Um,
Yeah,
but those are very little and irrelevant countries that I can't even name, and I'm a historian. Most
Liberia.
all of them are based upon the German parliamentary system. Now, the British will tell you that we created that. You're liars. Shut up.
They're the British. They lie about
They
everything.
lie about everything. But anyway, the German parliamentary system is the standard for most of the planet. And so she wasn't elected, her party was, and
uh,
they chose her to be their leader. So, in a parliamentary system, you don't have a president, you have a party, and they choose who represents them, not the people. Now, usually that person will be out there stumping for them, and therefore to say, well, if you want me in charge, and therefore my party. So they do that, but generally it's not required. So what happened was her party won a narrow victory,
Yeah.
and they created a partnership with other groups, which is what
Hmm.
happens. It's very rare that you have in a parliamentary system one party dominates to such the point that the other parties have no say in the matter, because you have to
Hmm.
have 51% of all the vote. Now, here in Japan, that does happen usually, but it isn't as of late because of all the, just useless nature of politicians. However, her
No.
party won. She's very popular. All the ladies are all, my God, it's the first female leader. But I'm like, cool, ladies, all right, calm down. Is she any good? Now, I don't know what she's going to do because she ain't done shit yet. But I do like the way she talks. She is very Trumpian, right? But I haven't seen her do shit, right? But nevertheless, what she did was because her popularity is so high and the ladies are all full of them, they're in their cups, as it were.
Mhm.
Um, she had another pop election, which sometimes turns on them, right? But in this case, I haven't checked it, but I don't think it did. And it was just to try to pick up more seats so that they could get a majority all on their own and not have to make a deal with other groups that they don't want to share power. That's what that was.
Right. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I
Stressed
don't
her out.
know. I haven't checked because I could care less. Because Japan is a perfect example of a place that has no need for politicians whatsoever. We truly don't need them here. Everything functions just fine. We don't need politicians. And the politicians understand the situation here. Whereas in America, they're constantly making noise and you can't avoid seeing them. Here in Japan, the politicians do their best to not be seen or heard at all, to not raise the well, not just the ire or the attention of the people. They understand that, so it's a bit different than America, but they're just kind of useless. We don't really need them. We don't need them. And I remember I probably said this before, but getting old. I was talking to my son, and we were talking politics years ago, and I said we don't need politicians at all. They're completely irrelevant. And then he held up his phone and he said, "What about this?" Meaning, we need new laws because they are legislators, right? We need new laws for new technology and stuff. And I was like, "Well, really, what possible law would be needed for a cell phone or a smartphone that we don't already have?" I mean, think about it. What politicians actually do, or legislators actually do, is they convolute, they muddy the waters, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you went and you actually checked American law, right, and you looked you looked on for a simple, I don't know, Fourth Amendment seizure rights, or whatever. If you went and looked at one case law, right? What you would find is 100 things sitting on top of it that say basically the same thing, created by politicians who simply want to get something passed through the House, or the Congress in general, so they could point to that when they're stumping, saying, "Look what I did." And now what do you have? You have a very basic, simple law that has 100 layers to it because they just keep, stacking on top of everything because we don't actually need new law, right?
Mhm.
And it creates convolution because one law wording will be slightly different than the other, and you know what happens? Criminals get away with shit
Mhm.
because they find a loophole in all the mess. So yeah, politicians suck. We don't need them. All we need is law and people to manage it. Police, clerks, things like that. And in Japan, she just was making a power grab. Did she win that power grab? No clue. I'll ask someone.
I think she did.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mention that. I remember when Trump rolled back the net neutrality laws from version 2 to version 1, and everybody had a freak out when
All
most
right.
people couldn't even tell what the difference between 1 and 2 was.
I'll be back in a minute.
Oh,
And everybody, like, all of a sudden, there was going to be this huge Gestapo sweep of your internet rights, and 10 years later, that didn't fucking happen. Just,
yeah.
you know, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't understand why or how election systems get that convoluted. This is
Oh,
why
my.
democracy is utterly stupid and has
How
always been
much,
a mistake.
how much did they pay for that?
What happened?
The Anti-Defamation League has a Super Bowl ad
Oh yeah.
where
Oh,
some where some high schooler opens his locker to find somebody put a post-it note that says "Dirty Jew" on his book bag. The
Oh
horror,
no,
the horror.
the poor baby. He'll never recover.
Oh no,
He'll
what?
never recover from words.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. But to kind of cap off what I was saying, if you guys remember many years ago, we had this little girl named Amber, and some sick person did something horrible to her. And the complaint was that the police didn't react, the government and the people didn't react quick enough, although it probably wouldn't have mattered. Um, so they created the Amber Alert, right? Now
Yep.
you're like, okay, well, that's a good thing. If a kid's missing, because usually you have to wait a certain amount of time before the police will react to a missing person, is what it's coming from. And they're like, well, in the case of children, then we'll get rid of that and make them react immediately, and therefore the birth of the Amber Alert, and we still use it today everywhere, I'm pretty sure. But here's
Hmm.
the thing: the only reason they needed it to do the Amber Alert is because of other politicians meddling in for decades and decades and decades into absolute nonsense, to the point that we don't respond to missing persons for 48 hours. The reason we used to, the police would respond instantly to stuff, but then they backed it up. It's like, you're wasting our taxpayers' money, and they were go on, and they'd stump, and they get their bill passed, and there, look what I did. I'm an amazing person. And of course, how many people did we lose during that period? That the cops literally couldn't do anything when normally they'd be on it instantly, right? So the Amber Alert is a reaction to a bad layering of previous law, right?
Yep.
That's exactly a perfect example of the nonsense that is involved in this legislative situation. We don't need laws. Matter of fact, I think we should pare everything down to the bare minimum, and then in the future, any new law that they might want to pass must have a majority vote by the people. Maybe even 80% by the people. That would be even better.
Well, that's what the founders were trying to do with the amendments to the Constitution. You see, they really weren't supposed to be able to pass heavily restrictive laws to the populace. That was for the states to decide if they wanted to do that, and even then they had limits. It wasn't until, well, after Lincoln, to be honest, that they decided they could do such things. And
Well,
that was really the overall intention was we have these are the laws, the Constitution. These are your federal laws. These are your big daddies. You can change them, but you got to do this whole process. You got to get, I can't remember what it is, like 37%, or I mean 37 states now, and It's a huge deal. Takes a long time to get an amendment through, as it should,
yeah.
because it should be a big deal to change it. And that was kind of the same idea. The only problem with a direct democracy system is the people are retarded.
Yeah,
They're just retarded.
that is true.
The best governance is the most dangerous governance, and that's full dictatorship. But only if you have a good dictator. If you have a good person who actually wants to do good for your people, then it's wonderful. That's the best you could have. You couldn't beat that because they could just say, "Yep, do that," and it's done. And then boom, and good things start to happen. But those are rare because people of that high of moral caliber are rare. To have that level of power and not just do whatever the hell they want with it is very, very rare in the human beast.
Right.
Usually, though, what you end up with, dictatorships and absolute monarchies and stuff get a really bad rap from Republican-style governments like America and the rest of the West, for the most part. But usually, if you look through history, most of those so-called tyrants really weren't that bad. They maybe did one or two really fucked up things, or not even that fucked up, just kind of dickish. Otherwise, they left the people alone. Which is really all I think most people just want, which is what Chester's getting at. Just leave us the fuck alone. Just stop.
Yeah, stop
We
it.
don't need you.
We don't
We
need
don't need you. There are times, I will agree, there are some times where we need you, but we'll tell you those times. Other than that, shut the fuck up. How about that? How about that? But they can't, Chester. They just They
Well,
just
no, there's too much
can't.
money. Yeah, there's too much money
Yeah.
involved. I mean, that's how they get paid. And that's unfortunately the situation we're in. It's the same thing I was talking about earlier with these idiot athletes up there, disrespecting America and say they're not proud wearing the flag because of a president. What? How does that change your opinion of your country, though?
Yeah.
Right? I think you're
It's
telling
retarded.
on yourself a little bit here, kid. Um, and the fact that these Democrats, they might give you a love for 10 seconds, but they will turn on you in a heartbeat. You
Uh-huh.
cannot trust liberals. You cannot trust them. And we see this. Look how quickly they turn on each other. They're always eating their own, right?
Mm.
Now, the interesting thing in reaction to that, to kind of take that as a turning point, um, is the Billie Eilish situation, right? And now I understand the Indians are just having a laugh. I get what they're doing. They're messing with her because why not? It's funny. But Billie Eilish got up on the Grammys, which no one watches, and said, "No one is illegal on stolen land." Well, ma'am, I don't think are you American? Is she American? Anybody know if Billie Eilish? I know I heard one
She,
song from her, and all she does is mumble.
she is British.
Okay, well there you go. Then shut the hell up.
First of
Um,
all, land literally cannot be stolen. To steal something is to take something away from somewhere else.
yeah, it's
Nothing was
the
taken away from anybody. They were taken away. If anything, the people were stolen, not the land. They were
That's right.
sent off. Get
They
out of
were.
here. Yeah,
We have a word for land. It's called conquer.
that's right.
But it doesn't even matter. Little mumbling girl. The reality is this: America, we're very different than a lot of other countries in the world. We bought our shit.
Yeah, most of
We
it.
bought
We'll
it.
just say, we'll be like, here, take some money. It's not our fault these people didn't know how to negotiate. That's on them.
America has always been stupidly wealthy. Now, to be
Yeah,
fair, we didn't have much of a military power until Pearl Harbor. I mean, really.
yeah.
A lot
Mhm.
of people like to point to it. America was involved in World War One. Not really.
Well,
Come on.
we had an okay navy. It was coming up. Our navy was coming up by that point.
Yeah, but still, we were not a world power, dude. We were
Not
not.
yet. No, we didn't want to
Um,
be. We were
no,
fine.
because we
What,
because
what do
we're
we need to
just
be?
rich, man. We don't need to be involved in this, and that's why they had so many
Europe's
consternations
problem.
getting the Americans to agree to go into the war, because the
Yeah.
Americans are like, yeah, we don't need none of that.
And all they did, as the famous general allegedly said, but I think he did, they woke the sleeping giant and filled it with a terrible resolve. Yeah, we just wanted to be left
Yeah,
alone. You
Momoto-san. Yeah,
stupid fucks. All you had to do was leave us alone, and most of the people here would have been cool with it. But instead, you hit our harbor, and 1 million men volunteered to kill you the next day in
yeah,
one day.
and they
That's
did.
what you get.
They
And then
did.
they did. They
Yeah.
did, in fact, kill you. A lot of you.
You know, that war went on for years, of course. 4 years, basically 4 or 5 years for as far as America's involvement.
Right.
But the interesting thing about that is the greatest battle of that entire war for America was not any of the wars you've heard about, right?
Mhm.
Now you might have heard this one, but I'm assuming most Americans know what Midway is,
Of course, yes.
right? But
Well,
that
I don't know if I'd say most. That's a big ask nowadays, but many
well,
Americans know what
Well,
it
that little
is.
island chain, that little island, right? And which
Mhm.
is literally in the middle of the Pacific, therefore midway, you know.
Which is
Um,
interesting that it's there, but yes.
it is interesting. However, that battle actually was the most important battle in the whole war as far as America was concerned. Now, I
Yeah,
understand
mostly.
other countries are going to
Naval.
have different opinion, but that war it was pivotal. And
Mhm.
we should have lost that battle many times over. If you look and you just do the data and the statistical layout and logistics of that situation, we lose 1,000 times out of 1,000 times, right? But somehow we won that. And the
That's what America
reason,
does, baby.
well, I'm just saying we shouldn't have. But the reason we won that because everything we had was less than the Japanese. There, of course, because we didn't have military. We weren't a military power. We were economic power. Um,
Mhm.
and everything they had was superior to us. And the one thing that let us win that was first the Yahoo attitude of the American in general, right? The fact that we don't need leaders. You know, you give me this flying gun, I'm going to go get it done, right?
Yeah,
That
Cowboys.
mentality, cowboys.
Yeehaw!
And what beat the Japanese was their own litigiousness.
Rigidity. Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
They
what
were
got
too.
them.
They were too rigid.
They were
They
too
didn't know how to
strict.
adapt.
They didn't know, but that battle is the quintessential and
That
also
is, Chester, in my
central battle
opinion.
of the war.
I've said this before, and I think you agree with me. The greatest fighting warrior of all time is the European male. But the reason is what you just said. Is that that ability
The
to
Yahoo, yeah,
adapt on the fly? Yeah,
yeah,
that ingenuity. I genuinely think you were talking about this earlier. Like, each race has kind of their own deal, and yeah, the Northern Europeans, of course, have the power. They're
yeah,
ridiculously upper body strength. But I think Europeans in general, I think their big one is ingenuity. I think their ability to adapt is our ability to adapt is just unparalleled. And it happens in war. And if you can't do it in war, you're going to lose. Unless you just have an overwhelming force against your enemy, which is very rare, unless you're a big bully, you're going to lose if you can't adapt. Things happen. Mike Tyson's famous. Everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth. Yeah, exactly. All plans fall apart when you meet the enemy. That's an old
that is
military
true.
saying too.
That is true. Yeah,
So if you can't adapt, it don't matter what you brought to the table because your shit's gonna fall apart. Your whole strategy is just gonna fall apart. And that's what Midway proved. And like you said, on paper, that should have been an easy day for
yeah,
Japan. Easy
yeah,
day.
yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a bad day for Japan.
It was the end of the war. To be fair,
Yeah, pretty much.
everything
It
after
was
that
just
it was just mop
attrition
up.
after that.
It was just
Hmm.
mop up. Yeah, and not even attrition. We were, if you went and asked the fighting men of the Pacific, they would show nothing but respect to the Japanese, and fair enough. You should
Yeah,
respect
they
your
were
enemy.
warriors.
But we just literally just cheese grated those fuckers, dude.
Yeah,
Because they
what
were
we do.
the rigidity is the issue. They would literally not surrender, even though surrender is a good military tactic.
Yes.
And they would just march into the jaws of 50 caliber machine guns that were being
Yeah.
fired so often they had to create special gloves just to change barrels because they were melting. Okay, that's the
Yes.
reality of it, and that's
And one thing
stupid.
I want to point out, a lot of thanks to Hollywood, there's nothing dishonorable about a surrender.
No,
In all of military history, when you've lost, you need to admit it. It saves lives. That's the point.
but it also allows
Um,
you to regroup and come at it
yeah,
again.
you can regroup. You live to fight another day. That is all accurate. There's no dishonor. And I mean, there's times when it's dishonorable, sure, but most of the time throughout history, when a surrender or retreat is called, it was usually the right choice because you've lost. The day is lost. There's no point continuing. But Hollywood has convinced everybody that people didn't have that mindset. But some people didn't, and that was the Japanese, like you're saying. They were just fanatical. They just wouldn't stop. So they just got mowed down and had ridiculous casualties whenever they'd lose because they just couldn't stop. Another example is the Soviets. They at first they didn't have that policy, but then they had the policy where if you tried to run, they'd shoot you, and
Right. Which
your own officers would shoot you.
which
Um,
is why their attrition numbers are so high.
yeah, they were outrageous. Their attrition numbers. The only reason they were able to beat the Nazis is they just overwhelmed them with our
Yeah,
technology. Let's be honest; it was American
and
tech
just
mostly on
bodies.
those fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just threw bodies at them until they were like, we're just tired of killing you. We're exhausted."
Well, and also another good example of this is to go back a little bit more historically, because I know people don't know Midway, but they have to understand the Gallic Wars. I mean, how could you not have studied that in school? But anyway, what would history say if Gaius, Caesar, Julius Caesar,
Mhm.
Gaius, if he didn't retreat and come back at Vercingetorix? and then
It
have
wasn't
one
so
of the
much about him.
great that's right, and having one of the greatest military triumphs of all time, strategically anyway.
Hmm.
Retreat is a valuable asset, but the Japanese had no concept of it
Caesar
because
was
they
the
were
real deal.
he was the real deal, dude. But because the one of the problems with the Orientals here, that I've learned in living with them, right? Because it's not something you can learn on paper, right?
Mhm.
But living here in the Orient and knowing these people as I do, and the reason I say Orient and I don't say Asia is because the Indians and the Middle Easterners and of course the Russians don't have the same thinking. I'm talking about the Orientals here, the Far East, and uh, the thing is with them, they've never been free ever.
Right. They don't even
Um,
understand it.
they don't. In the West, we even though we had kings and emperors, we always were free. Now there were
Yep.
good days and bad days, yes, but we always had freedom, and that freedom was always the fear of the elite. I mean,
Hmm.
a very famous expression: "Give them bread and circuses, distract them."
That's right.
The Far East and the Orientals, their leadership has never had to have bread or circuses. If you get out of line, they'll just kill everybody in your village
Yeah.
and put your
That's right.
head on poles and let everybody know, hey, you want to be next? We're happy
Yep.
to accommodate you. I mean, this is the difference. The West, we've always had that freedom in the background, and therefore we'll fight for it. These East Asians here, Far East Asians, they've never had that. They're it's kind of, and they still, many of them still don't. The Japanese kind of do, but they don't even. It's weird living here. They don't know what to do with it,
Yeah.
which is why
Exactly.
everything's so quiet, boring, and safe. So it
Which
has
is
a
also
benefit.
why when you get to these lefties and you try to give them freedom, they call it oppression because it is to them. They're not capable of understanding it. And unlike the Japanese, which are typically fairly, stoic people comparatively
Sure.
to an American leftist, uh, they don't handle it well, and they start lashing out. Right? Like, there's no way you can live in the United States of America, anybody, I don't care who you are, and say you're oppressed. What does that even mean to
Right.
you? Like, what does that word mean? Sometimes people say mean things to me. That's not oppression. That's just people being mean. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You don't understand genuine oppression because you live in America. You ungrateful swine.
Right. Well,
These people have no conceptualization of
they
what
don't.
non-freedom is.
They don't. But let me round it back to where the conversation began. Billie
Mhm.
Eilish, that mumbling Brit, right? Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know why she's popular. I heard a song from her, and it's like set in like a mall, like an American mall. The
Hmm.
video, right? It was a
Hmm.
video, and she hardly speaks at all during the song. It's mainly just music, a beat, and occasionally she come in and mumble something. There was no singing, right? It's just that kind of Euro techno trash garbage, right?
Yeah,
You
she's a
know,
pop singer.
that kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
But she's not a singer though. She's a mumbler.
Well,
But
okay,
nevertheless,
pop performer, we'll call it
yeah, there you
performer.
go. Sorry, that I'm a musician. That annoys me. Anyway,
Well, there's
she's
very
American. Booster
few.
says I have no clue what the hell she is. Booster, but I
No, she's
know that
she's
she's a
British.
dumbass.
Um,
Because with her coming out and saying that, making that dumb comment that many libtards have said over the past decade, or even in the past, um and that Native American tribe of where her $14 million mansion sits upon coming in harassing her, hilarious, by the way, hilarious, but it's
my
gotten
red brothers. I like it.
yeah, I
Good
love
job.
it, dude. But it's gotten so out of hand that Ruffalo, the mighty Mark Ruffalo, whose
Uh-oh.
opinion is very important to him, um, had to
Gonna
come
trigger
out
too
and
much.
defend Billie Eilish. How dare you even? She's fighting for you. And because who's that rich guy who was on Shark Tank that works for Trump now? Um, I can't remember his name, but we see him up on the all the time. He works for the Trump administration out there, PRing really.
Yeah.
And they were coming up and they were giving him a hard time, saying, you know, you're only worth $400 million. That's not actual real money. Well, then go tell Billy that because she's worth like less than 50. So go tell her she's not important, please. Go do that because someone should. But then again, she was popular how long ago?
Yeah.
You know, but just
I
another
mean, she's still
dumbass.
fairly popular, but
I
it's
have
one of
no
those
idea.
situations, right, where they come out, they get a big hit or whatever, a couple of them, and then they just kind of coast for a while, which I can't blame them. I would
Yeah,
too,
no,
probably.
I don't
Fuck it.
mind that. Just shut your mouth
Yeah.
up and dribble. Uh, but
Yeah.
um, but the thing with her though is she mumbles. She doesn't even sing. I don't understand the point of her. I mean, because even you got something like the Rolling Stones, for instance, which are Mick Jagger's not a great singer. Let's be fair. I mean, he can carry
Yeah.
a tune. He can stay in
He's
tune.
a good performer, though.
He's a great performer, but so I mean, you
Yeah.
don't have to be, frickin', Whitney Houston. I mean,
Yeah.
um, you need at least be able to sing would be nice. However, speaking of Whitney Houston, her replacement, Mariah Carey.
Her replacement. I don't know if she's a replacement,
Uh,
but okay.
No,
so
I would. I wasn't the same choice.
uh, now when Little Mariah came out. I remember her first album there or so, and she was skinny little girl, no tits, looked like a street rat, right when she came out. But it was like, damn, all right. And then of course she just gained weight after that and became more and more detached from reality. But nevertheless, she performed at the opening ceremonies of the Italian Winter Olympics here a couple of days ago, which I watch. I
Hmm.
always watch the Olympics. My wife and I enjoy it. And they were. I can't remember that girl's name on Saturday Night Live that lost her entire career, but they were basically lip. She
Ashley
was lip.
Simpson.
Ashley Simpson. She was lip syncing it, which why you're freaking Mariah Carey. Even you can just have a lazy day and be impressive,
Yeah,
Because,
no,
right?
no, Mariah can fucking sing. There's
well,
no doubt.
Yeah,
it's because a lot of these sports venues stop the live performances. Like a lot of people don't realize that after Prince's performance at the Super Bowl, the NFL has specifically mandated pre-recorded performances.
why? What
The
did Prince do
only
wrong?
thing
Nothing.
when he
Killed
played
it.
when he played in the rain and they didn't want him playing in the rain, and
Yep.
you good luck telling Prince what to do.
Yeah. It was the best. I don't care what anybody says. It's the best Super Bowl show of all time. And I'm not even a Prince guy. I wasn't until that night. I said, "Oh, okay, boys got it. Okay, I see. I get you.
Yeah,
I'm with you
no,
now. I
no.
see. I
Prince
understand."
Prince is respectable, that's for sure.
Because
Uh,
here's why. Here's why. I'll tell you exactly why. It wasn't because he's so great at what he does. His stuff's fine. It is what it is. He did so many other genres, and
mhm.
he nailed them. And I
Yeah,
was like,
he played
"Oh,
every instrument, and
okay."
yeah, yeah. And the thing I appreciate, because I'm not a Prince guy either, and I grew up
Hmm.
with Prince, right?
Correct.
The little red Corvette, I do like that song though. But
That is a good
anyway,
song.
the thing like I respect him because he plays every instrument. He's very pedantic. All that. But what I love about Prince is this: he understood seemingly from day one, like Jump Street, that the industry sucks and they're a bunch of frickin' vampires.
That's right.
So you want to involve yourself with them as little as possible. He got that and he did that. And one thing he was so good about was interacting with his fans. He had parties all the time. He'd send out personal letters. He would interact with his fans constantly. He got fan mail and presents from. I mean, there's like freaking rooms full of stuff people have sent Prince, and he read everyone and responded to everyone. That guy was absolutely 100% devoted to his fans, as you should be. And this is a part about Prince no one talks about. Another thing he did that I appreciate is he was a big sponsor of supporting other musicians. Right now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the various groups that have carry on beyond Prince, they become just racists. It's all about the
Yep.
blacks. Black, 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 black. Where, of course, Prince is not really, he's kind of Cuban, but nevertheless, but Prince himself wasn't that way. He gave opportunity to all color and creed. He did not care. He cared about talent. He cared about hard work and perseverance. And it's that one sad thing of his legacy is that all these little groups that he started up to help other musicians have been taken over by black activists and they're racist son of bitches, right? That's disgusting because the Prince was not like that at all. So, Prince, I'm not a big fan of his music. I'm not a big fan of his voice. I'm a fan of his musicianship, but I love the man, because that is what you should be. He's a
Yep.
perfect example.
Professional.
Professional, but
Well,
also loving. He truly loved his fans, and they were first and foremost for him, as they should be.
Hmm.
that's why I say I hate activists because they will latch on and leech
They will.
off people.
Oh
They
yeah.
will take other people's. But yeah, they most of these sports venues. I don't know why. The Olympics is yeah them too.
Yeah,
Um,
but it was off sync. It was a hot mess. It was bad, dude. It was bad, bad, bad.
yeah, because yeah,
Mariah.
dude, if I told this is where I did not know this until it was some years ago when it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Bruno Mars, and
Yep,
they was just and the Chili Peppers was just acting a fool on stage,
as usual.
and people no, they was really like they was really sandbagging, and
Yeah, no, they were. I know. I saw it. I
and
saw it. It's
and everybody
unfortunate.
and everybody and everybody was like, "Well, what the fuck was up with them?" And Flea let the cat out of the bag. Then it's like, yeah, everything was pre-recorded. He's like, go back and look. My bass isn't even plugged up.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand them being rebellious. They are the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all. Bruno's
So
much more of a pro, and that's the interesting thing about Bruno Mars and his success, because Bruno Mars is not a musician. I mean, not a singer. He's a songwriter, right? Who,
Yep.
came out and made a shot, and as tiny, teeny tiny as he is, was able to make a bang and get some success. Now, I wonder how much money he's got because every damn song he writes is basically taking three other people's songs and cutting them up and mashing them together. I've never seen an original thought come out of the guy. And he gets sued constantly, and some of the biggest lawsuits in music history are Bruno Mars, if you didn't know this. And Now I love Bruno and his boys. When you see Bruno with his guys, you got to give love to it because those guys put a lot of time in, man. There's a lot of practice to be as tight as they are, right? And My kids also, we grew up on Bruno and they love Bruno. They went and saw him in concert actually. But Yeah, there are differences, and a lot of people. The reason I mention it also is Bruno is, often compared to Prince, right? For multiple obvious reasons, right? The fact that he plays a bunch of instruments, he does all the background production, he does a lot of writing and creation, and he's up front, like Prince does as well. I don't know. What do you think, Grimlock? Do you like yourself some Bruno?
I like Bruno, but I would never put him anywhere. There's like certain artists. It's like it's them, and then there's everybody else.
Fair enough.
And
Fair enough. I get you. But just keep
like,
in mind, a lot of the big hits for people like Whitney Houston and other things like that were written by that dude. He wrote a lot of big hits before anyone knew his name.
yeah, I say look at some of Beyonce's shit after he stopped writing for her. So,
Right. No,
um,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, Bruno, he might not be the legend that Prince is in our mind, but he has had a lot of success. And of course, the big
no,
difference also is Prince was an original creator, where Bruno just rips people off. He's a
he's
plagiarist.
he's he's most going to be remembered as I think he's most going to be remembered as a songwriter. I mean,
I think
I
so.
think he's a good singer. Like I'm not going to sit there and say like
He has his
He's
moments.
like I
He has his moments. Yeah,
he's I would not put him in Prince's category. He,
I get it.
like as far as males, I'm not putting him in that group. He is not. He's not Prince. He's not Michael. He's not James Brown. Either, or
Well, those
even a
guys
George
are all
Michael.
different, all famous for different reasons, dude. But
Yes,
my favorite thing,
we're talking about singing.
right, right, I
I,
get
I
you.
wouldn't I wouldn't put him
No,
in
he
that
isn't this doesn't have the same chops. Although occasionally he's like, "Oh, that was better, Bruno." Um, but um, but really, the thing I like about Bruno mostly is when he is with his boys,
yeah.
his group. When those was it five guys? Is it five or seven? I think it five or six. But he and those guys, they are so mad tight, dude. Because I'm a performer. I've been on stage my whole life. I understand what it takes to do that, right? And to
Yeah.
be so tight. I can't even imagine how many hours they put in, dude, to get that tight. That takes a lot of work, and
And
they're so
so,
smooth, so tight, and
um,
the syncopathy as well that's going on with them, even when they're doing divergent things, shows you the amount of time they spent together. It's just impressive. Speaking of the halftime shows, because he would talk about the other one he did with Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you remember the one that he did with Beyonce and some, I don't know, Coldplay or some horrible band. Um,
I don't remember. Well, I that was one of the performances I ignored because I find Beyonce to be insufferable.
she is,
I
but
the only thing
he,
I like about Beyonce is that her fans are the easiest group of people in the world to troll. It it's it's fattening how delicious it is
yeah,
at
but
times.
I
So
don't begrudge her success at all. But what I want to say about that performance was she came out after he and his boys did her thing, and boy, did it not match up. But the level of sync and absolute cool level of how their movement was just off the charts. So I
yeah,
respect
so
this.
Silk Sonic is a pretty they're a pretty tight band from what I've seen them do together.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Um,
If they have a name,
and,
what's
and
their
you
name?
can Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic. That's what they call themselves. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, it's rare that you have like a group that is that tight or that in tune with one another. The only other group I've ever thought that was that in tune with each other is Sade.
Sade, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They've always been the chemistry that they have is brilliant. Like I can't. It's
Well,
hard to explain like how well they work with one another and to work that well for 40 years.
yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's fair. And I think there's probably a lot of stuff we just don't see. Like I remember this back in the early 90s, I think. I had a gig, because like I told you, I was part of the federation. They just show up on the board and we kind of hand them out to each other, right? And I was doing the stage band work for was the cute little Latina girl who she's kind of had a little black in her too, but the little Latina girl that played the drums and sang, Friends of Prince,
Sheila
uh,
E.
Sheila E. Yeah, okay, that girl, cute little thing. I was doing stage work for her, and I was just part of the background band, right, the background music. But she came on with her crew, right, and they were up in the front, and we're just kind of covering, we're playing the music, and they're doing their thing. But she and her crew were pretty tight too, man. They were real tight with their movement and stuff like that. Like they had this little drum corps bit they did. You remember marching band? You ever seen the drum corps with the quads and stuff like that come up? They did a little thing like that. I have a feeling she was a marching band girl. I think I'm pretty sure she was. The way that they were moving, but that was tight, dude. I thought that was pretty good. And I really could look at it too because the music cut out, so we're just sitting there waiting for our for we're counting measures, right? So I could actually really focus on what they were doing. as they did the little drum solo. Little, there was I don't know, 6 or 7 of them, including her. But they were real tight too. I love to see it. I love to see people that put the effort in, right?
You
Oh, yeah.
love to see it.
Love to see it. Like Justin Timberlake, don't like him either. Don't care for any of his music. However, I respect the hell out of that dude. That's a hard working dude right there. 100%. The amount of time he puts in. I saw him do something for, I think it was the Grammys or MTV Awards or something, some award ceremony, where he started on stage. He went through the entire crowd doing a very long song all the way around to the other side, ended up at being back on stage. And every bit of that was choreographed. And he was interacting with various different people at different places. They practice it a lot, obviously, but the amount of perfection needed to pull that off, I was like, damn, you go, dude. And then seeing him on the Saturday Night Live clip where he was doing his suit and tie song, dude, tight, super tight. And that's a pretty good
Super
song,
tight.
actually. Suit and tie is a pretty good song, actually. Anyway, music.
Music it is.
Who's your favorite performer, Grimlock?
A individual performer or like
Yeah,
what
who
band?
who does the Grimlock like best?
I will forever have a soft spot for Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica's fun. I've seen them a couple times in concert. They put on a good show, especially one I saw
I have,
where Queensryche was opening. That was a good show.
oh, I would love if I could travel back in time. I would love to see the Cliff Burton lineup.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I saw that. Yeah. Um.
I did. Unfortunately, by the time I discovered Metallica, Cliff was even gone. So
Well, my very first concert of all time happened to be Randy Rhoads with another guy. His name was Ozzy Osbourne, I think it was.
you know,
Yeah. But that was a joke. But Randy Rhoads, wow, dude. I mean, because I've seen many great guitarists live. I've seen, of course, I played with Eddie Van Halen. I've seen Zach Wild live. I've seen Satriani. I've seen so many. But frickin' Randy Rhoads, dude, he was sick, sick. But who's your favorite entertainer musician, Thundero? What's your favorite?
I don't think I have one, Chester. I've been pretty clear. I don't really give a shit about individual artists usually. Um, I much just prefer
nice.
the
He
art,
likes Sabaton.
the art itself. No, the art itself is what all I care about. I don't really care who's performing as long as it's performed competently. But that's
Yeah, okay.
probably because it's almost. Well, I know not even probably. It's definitely because I grew up listening to almost only classical music. Um,
Oh, fair. Okay,
except for when
okay.
I was like real young. But when I was in my formative years, that's all I really listened to. And to me, I didn't care who was playing it as long as it sounded good, right? Because I just don't,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't give a
get
shit.
you. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I'm very eclectic on music. I get you. Um, but my answer is much cleaner though. Uh, First of all, you mentioned Metallica. They put on a good show, but Motley Crue puts on a good show. A lot of these good stage bands. But I've never seen anyone bounce a crowd like AC/DC, by the way. Holy
Pretty
I
good.
am hoping to see them this year.
AC/DC. But my answer, you guys are going to laugh at me. But I'm telling you, the best damn stage performance I've ever seen was Iron Maiden with under Bruce Dickinson. Holy crap, dude!
Another one I'm hoping to see this year.
Oh, are they still playing? Cool.
They will be on tour in the States this year.
Nice, sweet. I mean, but frickin' Bruce Dickinson, what a there's been a bunch of situations where successful or somewhat successful bands have lost the lead singer for some reason or another and got another one. Now, the one with Iron Maiden luckily wasn't tragic like it was with AC/DC. But he just like, I don't want this life anymore, dumbass. And Bruce was hired in, and holy cow, the world was changed because Bruce Dickinson is one of the greatest male voices of all time. But Yeah,
And
I did.
and Philip Piano is that era of Maiden is at times forgotten, but
It's
Piano
different.
had a
Yeah,
pretty
it's different. But it's same thing with, like I said, with AC/DC. They lost their singer tragically. We still don't know exactly how he died. But when they brought in was it not Bon Scott? What's his name? Um,
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. Thank you. When they brought in Brian Johnson, um, it it made them AC/DC. I mean, it's same thing with Iron Maiden. Can you imagine Iron Maiden without Bruce Dickinson leading it? Right?
Nah,
No. And now it's interesting. Most of our favorites here, you and I, are heavy metal stuff or hard rock. Um, and if I were to go outside of that genre, the second, the best non-hard rockin' show, because they put on theater, dude, those rockers. But I'd say Earth, Wind, and Fire. There was no theater per se, but it was a fun show, and it was the Earth, Wind, and Fire are some of the most professional musicians you'll ever see on stage. They are
yes.
super professional. And that's an interesting thing. There are plenty of other non-black people who are extremely professional, but those old black guys of that era and before, they were crazy level professional. I mean,
Yeah.
really,
Well,
really professional.
because back then you had a standard,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
they were strict.
one of the things we're missing today. You had standards, you had leadership, and you didn't like disrespect, the people, put you in certain positions. Like,
Mhm.
you know, if James Brown wanted you to play a certain way, you played a certain way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
If Barry White wanted you to play a certain way, you played a certain way.
well, Barry was pretty strict actually. But
Barry
it's
was a
actually
gangster. There's I don't know if you've ever seen the Nathan East interview with Rick Beato, and he talked about one of his first gigs was with Barry White,
mhm.
and Barry would have his gun in the studio. So it's like Barry said, "Play something." It's like, "How you want it again?"
Right. No, right. Um, yeah, no, Barry White's kind of famous for that. But I mean, to give another example of how strict, like I said, I know it's not just a black thing, but I'm just kind of making it off because a lot of people have this image, and it is the built-in racism against blacks. This exists worldwide, of them being lethargic and incapable. This is not true at all, particularly in music. But to give a really good example of this, there's a really famous drummer from way, way back. His name was Papa Jones, Joe Jones, I think was his real name, and real famous jazz drummer. Really, really good inside the jazz world. He's like up there with Buddy Rich. But they were playing in, I think, Kansas City, but yeah, Kansas City was back in the 30s, right? And they had a guest saxophone player on stage with them, and he got so pissed off at the incorrect key signature use of this saxophone player that he threw a frickin' cymbal at him, and tried to kill him. Now that
Mm.
famous saxophone player's name is Charlie Parker.
Boom.
Yeah, yeah. So, and if you don't know who Charlie Parker is, well, we just don't even need to have this conversation. But yeah, so and I appreciate that. But a lot of those guys, like Temptations, what was the OJ's? The OJ's.
Yep.
Those guys are tight. Because they put up a lot of really good harmony. I know a lot of those four-man groups, which there were many of them were black groups, not all, but a lot of them were, male and female. It's all harmony. It's the barbershop quartet concept, right? Getting that fifth harmonic. But I know this might be a weird choice for any of you who know what I'm talking about, but I go with the OJ's all day, when it comes with
What about I have to do this. What about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons?
Oh, they were amazing. I love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. They're really, really good. But I mean, we're talking about just pure musicianship and harmonic perfection. The OJs, dude. Yeah, I know it's a weird choice. I get it because they were popular, but they weren't as big as some of the other ones, like Frankie Valli, you just said. But they go back and listen to some of the OJ stuff, dude. They were banging, banging. Anyway,
I did. Family Reunion. Great album.
oh, I don't even know that one. When was that?
Family Reunion. That was in the '70s. That because I
I probably
one
heard
because
songs off it then. Yeah.
you probably heard because but the lyrics of Family Reunion when he's talking about the roles of the family
No,
and
okay.
how those roles are needed, I'm like, how relevant that is today.
Yeah, yeah, that's true too. A lot of their songs actually have meaning to them instead of just pop nonsense. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would suggest go check out the OJs. They're like I said, they weren't the most famous, but musically, I love those
Oh,
guys. Those guys are awesome.
Ohio legends, Pharaoh. Ohio legends.
What, the OJs? I didn't know that.
They're
So
from,
they're from your part of the world there, Thundero.
Oh yeah, lots
Yeah.
lots of bands are actually. Lots and lots. You'd be surprised how many great musicians and actors and such come from Ohio.
All right.
People want to get
Well,
the fuck out of this state.
fair enough. Well, let me go ahead and transcend this over to our various entertainment news today, shall I? So go ahead.
Jared Leto's Skeletor is, quote, the embodiment of toxic masculinity in Masters of the Universe. Seriously? Apparently Matt's
Seriously?
questioning.
I guess
Questioning if this
Matt
is a
is.
serious thing. Yeah.
Well, there are a bunch of little articles. I just chose this one because I don't know, but maybe during the Super Bowl or build up to the Super Bowl, which is going on now, I guess, um, they had a bunch of hype trying to push this new movie. Fair enough. Fair enough. And there's a lot of conversations going on about it because of the last stuff we had with Matt Smith, and I think that's his name, or Matt or Mark Smith or whatever his name is, the animated one that was ultra woke that pissed everybody off, and the
Mm-hmm.
concerns about the wokeness of this, and there are several examples, but at the same time, we're all a bit confused because the trailer and the look is kind of perfect. It's what you want for He-Man. Jared Leto is playing Skeletor, but look at him. He's in the skull face. It looks good. All right, fine. So it's where everyone's kind of confused. And here's more confusion for you. The director Knight is going on and on about in an interview talking about how happy he is to be doing Masters of the Universe because he was a big fan. Rock on, that's a good thing. And they were trying to get him to do Skeletor in a different way, and he was like, "Hell no, he's got skull face, and that's that." So he's saying some good things, but then at the same time, I don't know that it's him, but Jared Leto really, really, really wanted this role for some reason. He pushed to get it, and he got it. And when he came in, the director said that his idea, not the director's idea, his idea was to play him as an extreme example of toxic masculinity. Now, of course, that's wokeness, and we know Jared Leto. He has lots of troubles in that regard as well. But the thing is, Skeletor is a little cartoon villain. You see, and his job is to be Thundero, the villain,
The
and
bad guy.
therefore
Wait a
Okay.
minute.
villainous. Yeah. He wants to what he wants is very simple. He wants Castle Grayskull because it's full of technology that he wants.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple creature,
It's the
Skeletor.
end of it
Simple,
there.
simple desires.
There's
Yeah.
no politics, there's no pseudo religious concepts. It's, I want what you have. I will have
And he's
it, He-Man.
and he looks cooler than he sounds.
He does.
Yeah.
But
God bless Alan Oppenheimer.
yeah, but I do love how they always
He-
try to put more emphasis on things that have no emphasis. this is not frickin' brain surgery. It's a little teeny kid show to sell toys. There was no
Yep.
depth to it. Now I know you're saying about Chester. There have been many, many cartoons and animation that have had deep cultural impact. Yes, you're right, but not He-Man. It's just frickin'
Um, I
little
think it
fun
had a
stuff.
lot. I think it had a lot of impact on Grimlock and Mai's
Yeah, but
generation.
I mean, psychologically, philosophically, no, it didn't.
Well, no, none of that '80s slop
Um,
did to
no,
for the
it
most
wasn't.
part.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't like
No, G.I.
it's
Joe
not X.
maybe be,
It's
because they
not
were
even.
teaching children to stay away from fallen power lines.
Yep.
Well, I mean, He-Man had the PSAs
Sure,
and that stuff, and they did have like the moral stories. Like if you want to go into that,
sure.
like the episode where Orko was lying to He-Man, but every time he lied, shit just got worse to the point where he just couldn't lie about it anymore.
Right.
You had episodes like, and also you had not in the first season, but in the second season, He-Man had an influx of a lot of great talent, a lot of talent that
Sure, sure, sure.
people we laud today, like Paul Dini and J. Michael Straczynski and
But you get
Bernstein.
my point, though.
Yeah, I get it. No, He-Man is not like if we're going to talk about like
He
from a
meant for
philosophical,
fun.
it's
Yeah,
not X-Men. It
Yeah.
was more fun,
yeah.
tongue in
Honestly,
cheek,
Good
personally,
all
example, by the way.
more.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say in that era, your '80s, early '90s era, because there was that bleed over into the early '90s. Uh, for me, the thing that was the most, as far as like a cartoon or just like that thing that was in that vein, would be Ninja Turtles. Culturally impactful. It was huge. It was huge.
Yeah,
Ninja
but Ninja
Turtles on a
Turtles is
different
way
level.
deeper than He-Man. Way deeper.
And that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. There's a lot more to it than this. So I don't understand why we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. Skeletor's evil.
And
That's it. He's
Yeah,
just evil.
it's
He
very
doesn't need
simple.
any more depth.
He
He's
doesn't.
evil. He hurts people because he's evil because he likes to do evil. You know what? Most evil people are like that. Only these weirdos and well, typically evil people, but only these weirdos in Hollywood want to try and turn evil people into something they're not. Most of them, a truly evil person does evil because they enjoy it. It makes them feel good. They
Sure.
like hurting people. They get
Yeah.
off on it. That's what Skeletor is. That's
Yeah.
it. We don't need any more
And he's a
depth of
greedy
analysis.
bastard. We don't need more
Yeah,
depth. That's right.
that's
And
it.
and Booster, first of all, there's a hyphen in He-Man. Second of all, you're going to get your ass kicked. And third of all, you want to talk about shit that didn't age well? Super Friends.
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad. It's pretty
well,
rough.
well,
Ooh.
it's funny though, mentioning the cultural impact of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when it
Yep.
was so drastically changed from what it originally was
Oh
to
yeah.
make to that show.
Yeah, yeah,
It's incredible to see that how that transformation worked so well
yeah, yeah.
because they literally, for lack of a better comparison, they kind of turned the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into what He-Man was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, no. I see what you're saying with that. And the turtles actually did have impact for many good reasons. I'm going to get some coffee. You guys keep telling them about it.
You get some coffee. No, Turtles was my jam, bro. I had all of it. I had all because back in the day, you could go to Toys R Us, you could get loaded up for nothing. Toys were cheap.
Yeah.
You could get them. And I had the big what was the big ball, the big sphere called? I can't remember now off the top of my head. I had that. Yeah, I had that.
Bro, you know what's funny?
I had Crag. I had it. If it was Turtles, I had it. And then I had some bad influence friends at one point in time, and we decided it would be a great idea. And this is going to make you very angry. It'd be a great idea to take baseball bats to all these action figures. And I'm telling you, I had everything, bro. I had stuff that's probably worth unbelievable amounts of money now. I had it all.
Bro,
If it was my whole
yeah,
family would just buy me Ninja Turtle shit out of nowhere. They just come over, here you go. All the time.
you
I had it all. I was huge. I loved Ninja Turtles. Raphael was my boy. I like Mikey too, but Raphael was my boy. I was just a big Ninja Turtles fan. Huge.
and
Huge.
here's the wild thing: you had all of that, and this year it was announced earlier this year that um that license that Playmates had for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which has been 40 years, is
Yep.
going to expire at the end of this year. So that's the end of a 40-year run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
That's
through
crazy.
Playmates. And bro, your
Bro, I
friends,
had it all. I had it.
you
I had
should
the flip top
you
head. I had the
should
pop. You put the one where you push it down and you can pop it up with the legs. I had all of it. And I've seen people like,
you
"Oh, those are worth a lot of money." I was like, "Well, I broke them with a baseball bat." Ah, fuck. I was like,
you
I was so bad. When I got older and realized what I had done, I was like, "Oh, fuck."
yeah, you were sitting on a good five. You were sitting on some money, man.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like 9, 10 years old. I didn't fucking know. I was just having fun with
Yeah,
my bros, throwing them up in the air and hitting them with baseball bats. I didn't even think about it.
I wasn't like into the collector thing. I was just like, if somebody gave me something, I wasn't like quick to throw anything away. And
Hmm.
like, if my parents gave something away, I kind of hated it. Like to this day, I still kind of hate that my dad gave away my Sega Masters.
Bro, I did the same thing with my comics. I had boxes of comics. I had 2 whole closets full at my parents' house of comics back in the 90s. I just gave them away because I was done. I said, "Yeah, here, let's take them." And I gave them
Yeah.
to, I don't remember, I think some people at my parents' church, some kids, just gave them to them. I had a bunch of, remember the rubber band G.I. Joes? I had a whole bunch of those. Uh, yeah, I had all kinds of that shit, and I just get most of it. I just gave away because I just wasn't interested in it anymore. And now I'm looking back, I'm like, motherfucker, some of that stuff had to be worth money, had to have been. I just gave it away. Crazy what you could get at old Toys R Us back in the day, man. It was it's shocking that they somehow fucked up that business model. Shocking, but they pulled it off. They managed it. Uh, you could go in there and just get loaded up for nothing. Like it was nothing, and you'd walk out with all kinds of license shit. It wasn't like it is now, where action figures are like $20 fucking, which is outrageous. You get them for next to nothing.
Yeah.
My cousin, he had a GI Joe collection. I mean, it had to be over 1,000 pieces. Had to be, right?
Ooh.
He had a garage attic just full of cases of fucking mint GI, like they, because you could get those big giant boxes of them, right? And they would open up, and there was like 40 of them in there, of the little rubber band ones. He had a whole bunch of those. He had all kinds of stuff because that's just what people bought them. I had a really big family growing up, so what would happen is they would just that's if once they knew you were into something, that's what you was getting till you were 25 years old. That was just how it is. Didn't matter if you were still into it. He was getting that. And that's what happened. So the collections just grew, but we didn't appreciate them because we were dumb little kids. We didn't know. We didn't know we had. But if I go back in time, bro, I probably was. I don't know. I don't even remember what my comics were. There had to be at least something in there in that collection that was worth some money. Because I remember my grandmother. My grandmother went to she would go to flea markets and stuff all the time and find just boxes of comic books and just bring them to me. She got them for $1, whole box. Got them for $1. Who knows what was in there? Like I would just sit there and read them, and it was just like you can't. That stuff doesn't really exist anymore. We lived in a time of great abundance, and we didn't know it, and we did not know it.
No, we really thought it was going to last forever.
Mm-hmm. They showed us. They said, you thought, retard."
You ain't going to
I
have none of
think
this.
I think Masters of the Universe is probably going to be fine. I'm with you. I don't like the race swapping. I think it's stupid. But I think overall the movie's going to be fine. It looks fine. I think we're at an age now. It took a while where these properties from the 80s are going to start getting a little bit more headway, a little bit more serious treatment. Because obviously you had the Transformers movies, but they're a fucking joke. And then you had the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, and they're a fucking joke. So, but honestly, there hasn't been much, right, of those kind of properties. And
I
I
will
think
take the
with
Michael Bay Ninja Turtles over Seth Rogen's Ninja Turtles any
oh
fucking day of the week.
fuck
They make
yeah,
this
yeah.
fucking good.
Hmm. No, the Ninja Turtle, the first Ninja Turtles movie is still holds up. I don't care. I'll watch it right now. It's
Still
great.
the best one.
Yeah, it's so good. Um, and they toned it down because of Karens back in the day were writing letters to them talking about how it's too violent for my kid because they were using their actually using their weapons to fight the foot. Uh, how dare they? How dare they use their ninja weapons to fight ninjas? The
I'm
bastards.
like, bitch, did you see the cartoon?
You talk about the
Yeah.
Brits banning it?
Well, yes, but no, I was talking about the first Ninja Turtles movie was one of the first cases of the Karen write-in where they all wrote in and were complaining about how violent it was. So the second one, they took away a bunch of the violence as far as like with the weapons. They just did a lot of kung fu instead of using their weapons
Yeah,
for actual
that's
offense.
why the British did it too, because of the weapons, not the fighting. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so stupid,
yeah,
so dumb. But no, what I was saying is we were talking about like in the last decade or so, well, 15 years really. You've had 20 years. Shit, you've had the Michael Bay Transformers movies, his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, and I genuinely think Masters of the Universe is probably going to be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but it was never great. It's He-Man. It's not.
yeah. It's
What are we
He-Man.
doing? It's gonna be fine. I think it'll probably be fun. Be a good time. Nice experience if that's what you want to watch. Um, but I do think we're in an era now where they're starting to take those properties a little bit more seriously. And by seriously, I don't mean they're trying to turn them into great melodrama like fucking Michael Bay did with Transformers. They're trying to be faithful to the tone and the tenor of it while bringing it to a newer audience nowadays. A great
Right.
example is the Mario movie. That's still the best
Oh yeah,
example.
it was
I
good
think they
fun.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Michael Bay and Transformers, I believe there were a lot of drugs involved in that production.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it shows.
yeah, it does.
But no, it's a shame that we've had 40 years, give or take, of the Turtles, uh, and we've had one good movie, like one really good movie.
Yeah,
That's
that first
crazy.
one was really good, actually, shockingly good. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. That's crazy. It's not a hard concept to pull off, guys. What are we doing here? This should be
No,
very simple.
true. But nevertheless, I just thought it'd be interesting because they keep talking about people's concern because I think the trailer, because most people weren't even talking about it. Then the trailer came out and people were like, oh, well, that kind of looks like He-Man. And they're
Yeah.
confused because Hollywood. And they're really grasping at straws, looking for an excuse to hate on it. And we see a lot of this, and I can understand why we have it. But we'll see. This could be just the fun
Well,
because this director Knight, he seems to be an actual fan of He-Man. It seems.
well,
I know they all
the
say they
funny thing
are,
is
but
that you mentioned, like, they're talking about this stuff, and it's like, is this going to be another case of Dungeons and Dragons and
right,
hell, Transformers One, to be frank,
right,
where you're marketing the movie one way to where it turns off your potential audience, and then when the movie comes, the movie turns out that it's not that way, but you don't have as much success because you've already turned off so many people.
fair enough.
Because, all right, the whole thing about Skeletor or toxic masculinity, I don't know what you're defining that as, but yeah, is Skeletor toxic?
I'm
Yeah, you could
pretty
make that argument. I mean,
sure,
he
but
is.
I'm pretty sure they
He,
don't know what toxic masculinity is. Grimlock. I think it's just male is what they want to say.
yeah,
Male. Yeah.
because I did send you a video to your DM of Skeletor at his snarkiest, because that's a part of it is he's a bit of a snarky dick. It's not just that he's
Sure he
powerful;
is.
he's a prick. But he's a funny prick, and as I said before, Alan Oppenheimer was great at giving that voice to him.
Yeah, he
And
did. And I was
man,
actually extremely surprised how good a Skeletor I just did a little while back. I
yeah.
didn't know I could do Skeletor.
It was not bad.
It
It was
wasn't
not
bad.
bad.
I was shocked. I was like, "Is this happening? It's happening." Yeah. That was a really good Skeletor. But yeah, no, he was amazing. Skeletor is the best part of the show, without question. His snarkiness and his comebacks and his there's these memes that have been going around where they use Skeletor to, gotcha bitch, that kind of thing.
This is
With
better than some of my
Dave Chappelle.
favorites.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. But nevertheless, we'll have to wait and see. It's just the culture war is full on, dude. Shut up, Booster. It was pretty good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Booster. But speaking of that segue, I wasn't going to do this next, but I will now.
He will now. HBO developing Baldur's Gate TV series with Last of Us
Oh
showrunner. What could possibly go
Right.
wrong?
All right. Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
shame. I don't know why they decided to show our boy here,
see
but
who's
I
yeah,
really, really hope they don't touch Baldur's Gate 3 because it was a
you mock
masterpiece.
you mock Chester, and now look what happens. They're coming for one of yours.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Now, I don't know why there's a stick coming out of his shoulder there, already then. It must be a weapon that's just clipping through the costume. But Baldur's Gate 3 from
Larian.
Larian Studios
Yep.
was monumental. And good on
Masterpiece.
Lorian, because I enjoy their Divinity series. Well,
Yes.
I played one of them, but
Yep.
really good. They
They're
did a really
time.
good job, and that's why they were hired. And they pulled all the stops out and said, "Dude, we got what we want, and we're going to go at it." And they did. So rock on, dude, rock on.
And Wizards of
Um,
the Coast made it a nightmare for him the whole time because
I
they're pieces
bet.
of shit.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But thing with this is, though, as you were mentioning, as like the D&D movie, which is pretty good, and they kind of ruined it because of their bad
I love
PR.
that movie. We
Yeah, it's
watched it
fun.
again like a week ago. It's such a good movie.
It
It's
is.
such a shame. It's such a shame this keeps happening to Chris Pine. He's so good. He's such a good actor, but things just out of his control fuck over his box office. And what's he supposed to do? There's nothing he can do about it. It's completely out of his control. Anyway, go ahead.
Eh,
Sorry. I'm gonna rant about it if I don't stop.
no, I
Is he
I
going to be
agree.
in Baldur's Gate too?
Well, well, I don't know, but the thing is, all it's a situation where all they have to do, because this is just a twinkling in someone's eye now, and they like, all right, we're going to do it. So um, if they just follow the format of Baldur's Gate 3, or shit, Baldur's Gate 1, just follow the format, follow the story that is there, you're all good, dude. You're all good. Leave the bear out.
You know, you know what this
You know
show
what the
needs.
bear said?
But
This
this
show
could
needs
be great, dude.
the show needs an autistic Pee-wee as its showrunner.
It does.
Yep. Yep.
Because we know how great an artist that Booster Kiwi is.
Yeah, it
But
could be. It could be great. It's not gonna be,
no.
but it could be.
Well, this Craig Mazin, who did The Last of Us. Now, to be fair, a lot of people are like, yeah, it started out pretty good, and then it went woke immediately, because that's what the company with Last of Us did. That's exactly what they did. And of
Yep.
course, this
Yeah,
buffoon of a character playing our heroine didn't help. However, the initial response was really good to Last of Us. So it means that Craig Mazin can actually do the job. Now, if
he did unfortunately follow the lore in this case.
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
So my point is, maybe he'll do the same thing with Boulder's Gate. And like I said, they're going to do the third one because it's fresh in people's mind. But honestly, you could do Boulder's Gate 1 or 2. Those are both great. You could do Neverwinter. That whole
Yep.
series of those games that came out were really good. Neverwinter 2 literally changed gaming, because
Yep.
you correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Neverwinter 2 was the first one that let you go in and make your own dungeons. I mean, I may be wrong on that, but I don't think so. Never, that whole series from Neverwinter to Baldur's Gate, and there was some other stuff too, but those things are directly connected, right? Um, They were fantastic, and everyone was really happy with what Larry and David Baldur's Gate 3 because they put love into it, man. They put love
Right.
into it.
They did.
And they went all out. They like, no, we're jumping in both feet, baby. Here we come.
Yeah.
And I'm sure WotC was an absolute pain in the ass because they are a pain in the ass. But they basically got to get you what you got, and they're going to have a couple of new faces. The big difference with this, just to kind of let you know, they have made a decision on direction. This is not the retelling of Baldur's Gate 3. This is what happens after.
Oh boy.
And I like the idea of it, right? Continuing the story. It also gives them more freedom, which, oh boy, right?
Oh
Um,
boy.
but this is another one that, fingers crossed, we'll see. But
Yeah. I listen. I want it to be good. I would really like it to be good. I think Baldur's Gate specifically, that whole franchise is a gem.
it is.
Like you were saying, 1, 2, and 3 are all very, very good. 3 has one of the most divergent stories in a game ever. There's so many different ways it can go. They still pretty much end at the same place, but regardless, there's so many different ways to get there that people are still finding them, which is crazy to me. Uh, and it's going to be really hard to turn that into a competent series if you're going to base it off of the success of the most recent game, because one of the main reasons the game was so successful was its actual diversity, not the bullshit buzzword, the ability to do anything you want basically, and get from point A to point B, which makes it really fun. That thing, that little F word, that three little
Yeah.
little letter F word, fun. That's what games are supposed to be. I
Yeah.
know we forgot somewhere along the way and decided to make them a misery simulator, but that's not what gaming's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to walk up, Chester, you're supposed to walk up to the little goblin and be like, this is what happened when Booster and I were playing, because I wanted to see if this would work. Walk up to the little goblin, press the pick up object button on the goblin, and then throw him off the roof. That's fun. You should be able to do that as a barbarian. And I
Yeah.
was. And I did. And it was fun. That's it. And then you can also, Chester, you can take the little goblin fuck and throw him at his buddy. Use him as a weapon.
Hmm.
Because of course you can. You're a barbarian.
Yeah.
And it's a great time. That's what games should be.
Yeah.
I laughed myself to pissing almost when I did that, because I just randomly was like, I wonder if this will work. And lo and behold, yeeting that son of a bitch right off the roof. It was so funny. So funny.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're not going to be able to, I don't think you're going to be able to recreate the magic that Baldur's Gate 3 is, because if you think it's just the story, you're wrong. And that's where they're going to fuck up. And that's where they fuck up usually with video game properties. It's really hard to translate the magic of a video game into another medium, simply because it's a game. It's interactive. You can do things that, you just do things in many of them.
Yeah.
Now, that isn't the case for all of them, obviously. Like I said, I do think we're in the era of adequate to great video game adaptations, which is good. Because the real reason it's happening now, spoiler, because it's mostly being made by gamers. The reason the Mario movie worked is because it was made by people who like Mario.
Right.
Because everybody by now has fucking played Mario, unless you're like 90 years old or whatever. You played Mario, or you've seen somebody playing it. But back in the day, back in the early 90s, none of them fuckers played Mario. What are we doing? They didn't know. They weren't gamers. So I do think, though, that we're still in that era. We'll see if they pull this off. I have no faith, though. In fact, I have negative faith. I would bet against it harshly. And it's largely just because this is going to be another series that what they're going to do is, because it is set in a D&D, like a D&D world,
Hmm.
that has a very diverse population of all different colors and creeds and whatever the shit, they're going to make it all about that. They're not going to make it about something interesting. Like what Baldur's Gate 3's story is, you're infected with a fucking illithid worm, and you're
Yeah.
trying not to die, basically.
Right.
And then there's a whole bunch of shenanigans that happen and blah blah blah. But that's the main premise of it. It's very simple. It's got nothing to do with politics or racisms or feminisms or any of that bullshit. There's some of that played out in there in the story for different reasons, but it's not the point. And
No.
we know that's where this is going to go because that's where The Last of Us went. But like you guys said, in fairness, that's where the game went too. But regardless, just because the game did something stupid doesn't mean you also have to do something stupid.
Right.
Like imagine Grimlock if in Halo they took off Chief's helmet. Oh wait, they did that on the show.
Idiots.
Fucking retards.
Idiots. Yeah. Well, for those of you who did enjoy Baldur's Gate, the video game, keep in mind there is a series. There are one and two.
Yes.
But Baldur's Gate, of course, is Dungeons and Dragons from the Forgotten Realms. And if you're not interested in getting into that, because that's a lot of books to
Bella
read,
Ramsey.
however, what you can do is there was a series of comic books, Legend of Baldur's Gate. I think it was a miniseries, 5-part miniseries. That's a lot of fun if you like Baldur's Gate. You also have in that series from IDW, I think we had you had the Forest Giants Fury. Infernal Tides. I think we had Shadow of the Vampires as well, and the Tyranny of the Dragon storyline, which the Bulge Gate was part of. And we actually did a run through with Bill on the Tyranny of Dragons campaign setting, the module.
Yep.
We do. If you are interested in how that works out, you can do that. You could check that out. But so there are other Baldur's Gate things to interact with just beyond the video game, though. Those comics are
Yes.
pretty good. You ever look at those comics, Grimlock?
Which one? Baldur's Gate?
The Legends of Baldur Gate. Yeah, Baldur's Gate. Yeah,
No, I can't say that I have.
yeah. Well, that's all right. And but so yeah, I don't know. But I when I saw this, I was like, huh, all right.
No, Booster's right over here in the chat. One of the big problems Last of Us had wasn't even necessarily the politics because everybody knew that was coming. It was that they decided to be too faithful to the game, and they repeated the stupid decision to kill off Joel. That
Yeah,
was stupid.
it
It was
was.
dumb to do in the game, and it was
Was.
dumb to do in the show, and they killed their show. Good job. Just like it did the game, where like I think it was like 30% of the audience measurably basically just shut it off right there. Very few people, a very large number didn't get past that. They said, I'm good because they can track that, right? I'm good.
I,
I'm out.
I
I'm out.
do. I do know there was a significant portion of the watch who people watched it solely to see if they was really going to be stupid enough to kill him again.
Yeah, and they
Yep,
did.
and they did
Of course,
because
they
they're
did,
dumb.
and they did it with a transgender. I'm sure, as they should, because that's who they are.
And
But
you, and what's funny about this? To go back to the Transformers, talking about Transformers earlier. Transformers made one of the single stupidest mistakes in franchise history when they decided to kill Optimus in the movie.
it was a
To the
memorable
point,
scene, dude.
it was yes, it was memorable, but it was memorable for all the wrong. It became memorable for all the wrong reasons. To the point where GI Joe, who was going to do the same thing to Duke, rewrote the movie to avoid that. And you
Mhm.
would think that all these other franchises that have come after it would see this, knowing that this happened and knowing that that was the result.
Yeah.
Like imagine the next Mario movie, you kill Mario like 20 minutes in.
Oh well, hey, Luigi deserves his shot at the Peach's Peach.
Oh,
Imagine
we just
just
got
Yeah,
his
I
own
said
girl.
it.
He'll be fine.
Okay.
like
No,
Anyway,
he's right though. It's stupid.
it
It's
is stupid.
stupid. It's just dumb. I understand politically why they do it, and I also understand why they thought it was a great subversion narratively. But just because something's subversive doesn't make it good. Just because you didn't see it coming doesn't mean that's a good thing. If we're in the middle of telling a story, Chester, and all of a sudden you're like, meteor strike. What? That's not good. That's not a good storytelling. That's stupid. That's stupid. Yeah, you subverted my expectations because I didn't think you were stupid. But they're stupid. They're very dumb people. And I shouldn't be surprised at their level
No,
of stupidity because
shouldn't.
they've done many, many things to prove to me that this is a chronic condition, this stupidity, and it isn't getting better.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Bill, though, you mentioned Bill.
Mhm.
He is finally moved. I just talked to him on Saturday. Finally moved. He just got his Dolmenwood actual set from the Kickstarter or whatever. Um, I think he got it. I think he has it now, and he said he does want to get back to it, as soon as possible here. But when he does get back to it for the Tuesday game, he'll have to dip out right at the end of the game because his new work schedule is really early in the morning the next day. So he was gonna change the way we do the experience so it's just easier to calculate. So he didn't have to sit there for a half hour and figure that out. I'm just
Right.
letting you know that's what he told me. So he is very interested in picking Dolmenwood up again when we get around to it. Just so you know. Just so
Sure.
you know, Chester.
Yep. Sounds good.
Because I'd like to get back into Dolmenwood. I was having a good time.
So was I. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's continue on here and go from potential stupidity into just, stupidity.
Just dumbness. James Gunn's DCU Clayface delayed, pushed to October 2026. Have they even filmed this yet?
I
Confused.
I think for me, what I'm kind of showing this for is to portray that everything he's involved with is being shut down, right?
Yeah, he's done.
Now he's supposedly pushing forward with his Superman family thing, because that movie's coming out before the merger is done anyway.
Hmm.
So we're not going to dodge that bullet. However, so Clayface is delayed. There have been rumors that it's actually looks like it might be getting canceled, and yeah. But we also have this one.
James Gunn's DCU Paradise Lost said to be dead.
Yeah. Now I don't know what that image of the girl is because this thing hasn't been done at all. There is no filming or anything on this. I don't know if that's from a video game or some. I don't know what that is. But I certainly hope they don't go with a new Wonder Woman that looks like that. Holy crap!
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not that hard to find a hot brunette. They're out there. I've seen them.
they're all over. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Particularly ones that are the dark hair and the dark eyes. It's pretty easy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Pretty easy. If you're looking for a beautiful girl, though, don't go to Greece. You
What
know,
are you trying to say, Chester?
Yeah.
those are not pretty
So
people.
so is there anybody who's probably more invested in seeing this potential Netflix buyout get delayed more than James Gunn?
Well, I think James is
Um,
done, is the point. Um,
yeah, he had his chance. He flopped. He's done.
yeah, he hasn't really
You
hit
you know,
anything.
you know, you know what the funny thing is? I don't think he even had a real shot. I think Zaslav played him for a sucker.
Maybe.
I
Probably.
think, I, I think the whole reason he was brought in was because of the name recognition,
Old Axlov.
and and we've talked about it, and he has accomplished this mission of making Warner Brothers more appealing to sale. He has accomplished that mission, and I think part of bringing James Gunn in was taking somebody who had a name, and especially from the Marvel side of things, because Marvel had mostly success up until the point where he was taken, to where they could go, oh look, we got this guy, and this guy did so many, was responsible for this amount of success there. And I
Yep.
think they did that just to get the shareholders excited because Zaslav had a plan. He's like, in 3 years, we're selling this shit no matter what.
Yeah, no, and
So
I think that we've mentioned that many times. That's true. And Roger, the game you're talking about is spelled with an E. It's Prey, not Pray. It's Prey. But now there has been another game named Prey come out after, but I know the one you're talking about. And that was a cool game, and we could have got something cool, but it got canceled. I have no idea about that. And I don't know. I'll mention in a minute here about Paramount um, taking Warner Brothers from Netflix. We'll see. However, I do want to give a bit of an anecdote since we are talking about Greeks here. I spent a
Oh,
summer in Greece once. when I was a kid. I
Oh
was a
boy.
high school kid, and one of my friends' family is from there, and I went and spent summer with them in the Greek Isles. It was a great experience. But
Yep.
we were down on the beach because it was right there on the Aegean. And it's very rocky. It's not like our nice beaches, but nevertheless, you can still do the thing. And we're down there, and a couple other, high school. I think they were high school, young girls. But I was a high school kid myself, and they were ugly as hell. But I was a teenage boy, and you know how that is. So we were playing around with them, and I had an epiphany at that summer. Kind of like Danny had, dying and all in Greece. But I didn't know because I had not been exposed to so much pornography or anything like that as a kid. I was a bit innocent, although in a way not. Um, I'd never seen a bush that hairy in my life, dude.
Mm.
It was like a freaking endless Amazon jungle. Once again, referencing Paradise Lost and Wonder Woman.
Went to the
Um,
beach and ended up in the
have
jungle.
that dude? Have you guys ever seen? I mean, just literally a jungle of growth. Have you ever seen a girl like that? Because most of the girls I've messed around with in my life, they're pretty thinly haired down there. Actually, it's very sparse. But this
It's
girl, it
pretty
was like
rare nowadays. You
like
see
a
one
freaking
that's
head.
women typically keep it keep it very short
Yeah,
or
but
not at all.
Yeah, but even though I'm just saying that you can, even if they do shape or form, which a lot of women do, which I appreciate,
Mhm.
you can still tell if they have a lot of hair or not, right? By the
Yeah.
density, right? I just had never seen such a thing. But once again, you'll have to forgive me because I was a teenage boy and as ugly as she was, um, you know.
She was
Yep.
still willing.
Oh, dude, they're the ones that were put. That's why I said, were they high school kids? Because they were really on us. They came to us,
Well, you were
right?
you were white boys. You were well, you were a white boy. I don't know what the other guy looked like.
Yeah, Greek,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm a big old tall white boy, and
Yeah.
they were happy to come up
You're
and get engaged with
exotic.
that.
Exotic, Chester.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Uh
just keep in mind, one woman downstairs, she probably has got Medusa hairs going on. Just watch out.
no, Diana shaves. I won't have this. I will not have this. I
All right,
won't.
okay,
She's well groomed, neat,
yeah,
trimmed.
sorry, yeah, yeah, but anyway,
So, Chester, just to answer your earlier situation, we'll call it, about your parliament, she not only won, the lefties are apparently just down to 3 seats now.
nice,
She slaughtered them,
Good.
basically.
good.
So Japan might actually get some genuine reform. We'll see. Might happen.
Eh, I don't hold your breath.
I'm not. My breath is not held. It is fully exhaled. Thank you.
But it's mainly because the ladies are all incensed or in the positive way.
Yep.
With the fact that there's a female leader, and and they're all up and up about it. And I asked because I got a lot of female adult students, and I'm like, okay, cool, but why? Because I've actually listened to what she's saying. I paid attention. And I'm
Yep.
like, all right, I like the sound of it. I mean, I don't have any faith she's going to do shit because Japanese politicians do nothing. But I mean, I like what you're saying. If you do some of it, it would be nice. But I asked the ladies, I said, okay, but why did you vote for her? And of course, the answer was,
She's a woman.
that's right. And I said, well, do you know her policies? Do you know what it is she's standing for? No, no clue. Not a clue. No,
Nope.
nothing.
It's that kind of
Nada.
thinking is why we got Barack Obama.
That's right. That's right. Although, dude, Brock, now you say whatever you want about Brock, and I'm going to agree with you. But
I
that
will.
first term, dude, he put out some of the best banging stump speeches I've ever seen, dude.
Oh yeah, look, the nigga's a 5-star chef when it comes to word salad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when it's written.
Like,
When it's not written, he's horrible. But holy cow,
like,
dude.
like, if,
Boy,
like
ain't
if you want
Trump.
the if you want the best word salad you've ever had in your life, you're not gonna get no better than Barack Obama.
Mm-mm.
The
No.
only I'll put it this way: the only person that could have given you a better word salad is if Billy D. Williams was more articulate.
Yeah, that's right. or Teddy Roosevelt was
Because
still alive.
Billy D. Williams would have gave you a word salad that not only filled you up, but you came afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah,
Boy, that is an ugly girl, though.
not pretty.
Uh,
He's still hung up on it. He can't get over it. He can't get off it. He just can't
You
stop.
know,
ugly girl.
you know what? I appreciate that one track
There you
mindedness.
go.
I appreciate.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Prime Sandra Bullock. There you go. That'll make you feel better.
I don't know about that thing sitting next to her, but
Well,
Sandra was cutie. What is this
she had no
thing next
boobs
to
though.
her?
No
What?
boobs or butt, Sandra.
What?
I don't know her name. I don't know Chester. That's I don't watch that. I don't watch the movie.
Wait, wait.
I look at the ladies.
Wait, go
That
back.
is fair.
Sandra Bullock is proof. Sandra Bullock is proof. If you have a if you just be feminine and have a halfway decent personality, most men
Smile.
will overlook the fact that you may not have titties or ass,
Well, she
Hmm.
even
got
if
really nice
they're
legs.
tits or ass men. I don't give a damn about no damn legs. Ever been a time where I said, "Baby, I want to suck on your thighs."
Hmm.
Oh, you're missing out. I like it.
Shut up.
Not when the man,
There's
not when the
children
main
in the
course.
room. Booster's over here.
Hey,
Oh,
look,
Sandra's got to
yeah,
be in her. She got to be getting close to her 60s. I'd imagine, right? She's getting up
Yeah,
there.
no, she's a little smoke show, dude. She's got those bedroom eyes. She got that smile. Mm-hmm.
she,
Sandra.
she's always had a pretty face. She's always had
Looks like
a
she sucks a
very
mean dick.
she's always had a very nice personality. She always seems like you could actually just sit there, like talk to her, have a beer with her, and just be like a normal person. And people
Yeah,
don't
she does
understand.
seem
A lot
normal.
of
Yeah.
people don't understand how
There you go.
many
There's your
points
legs.
you get with
Oh,
just that.
fine. I'll put in legs. God.
No. I'm just saying there was a picture of them. I'm not asking you to pull it up.
There you go. That didn't help. What the hell? What are you doing? No.
You didn't put anything in.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, she got nice legs.
For you.
She does. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that's an older one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a smoke show. She's a pretty girl. She ain't got much of an ass or tits, but I don't know. I'm all right with that. I never care for the big titty girls. I appreciate men who do, though.
I'll take
But
them. I'll take those, Chester. You can send
there
those
you go.
them my way.
Well,
I'll deal with
yeah.
them. Listen. I'll take one for the team. All right.
Yeah.
I'll make the sacrifice. Lay down on the live grenade of big titties and take them for
That's
the team.
fine. That's fine. Well, the funny thing is, I'm still an
All
American, and
right,
my wife.
all motorboats.
Yeah, I know you guys. You urbanites. I get you. But the thing is, I'm still an American, and from an American point of view, my wife isn't very large breasted, but for
Yeah.
Japanese, she's actually very big.
Yeah.
So even
Well, hey,
though I don't
mouse girls.
care, I still ended up with, culturally, you know,
See,
Excellent.
it's the American to me.
he's about to lead down to some inappropriate questions
And
here
which I
because
shut up.
define like define big. You
No, I won't. I have learned. I have
you're putting
learned the
your wife
lessons,
in.
sir. I have learned the lessons, sir. Yeah, no, she's a pretty girl, and I haven't heard much noise out of Sandra.
I'm sure she's a crazy liberal idiot like
She
they all
probably
are.
is, but
But as the man famously once said, man's greatest folly is he takes serious that which the gods made for fun.
yeah,
And women like Sandra are for fun. You don't marry that woman.
that's
She's
true.
just don't do it. You
That's
just have
true.
fun with her.
That's
Have
right.
fun.
So let's move on to something else, which is not related.
Ian McKellen confirms he will play Gandalf again in The Hunt for Gollum. I thought that was canceled. They're actually doing this? They're
Um,
actually doing this to us.
Well, he was on Colbert the other day, and he confirmed it. And he also mentioned Frodo will be back. Now, in dealing with the Hunt for Gollum, and for those of you who don't know, the Hunt for Gollum in the storyline is going to be between the Fellowship and the Mines of Moria, right? And basically,
Mhm.
what is happening is Sauron is kind of activating his ace in the hole and drawing Gollum out and drawing him into the fray, right? Is what it is. Now, here's the thing, though. I understand your negative thoughts on it. However, Ian will make a cameo because he's not going to be a major part of it, although he might be. But I don't think so. I think we'll get a cameo. And we might get I can't remember the guy that played Frodo. Might get some of him as a
Elijah Wood.
cameo. Elijah Wood, yeah. But Peter Jackson's doing this. This isn't some rando. Peter's
He's doing
actually
this
doing
to
this.
us again.
I don't know, dude. I mean, Lord of the Rings was an absolute banger, dude.
Yeah, and then The Hobbit exists.
Yeah, but that's not his fault, though. That's studio interference.
He chose
No,
to do it. He didn't have to.
he didn't have to do it, but the studio's the one that made him cut the budgets and put the CG and rushed
I
everything.
will say this: Smaug looked good. That
Smoke
was
looked
cool.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, they did a good job with Smaug.
that's where he
But
put
the
all
rest
the
of
money.
it, the rest of it was pretty shit.
But I'm just saying, this is like a one shot, right? This could be good, dude.
I hope so. I want it to be. I just have no faith, Chester. They've battered my faith to the extent that it's non-existent now. We
Yeah.
live in a post Rings of Power world. You see, Lord of the Rings of Power. Remember the great alliteration that is. Jesus God. These people were paid a lot of money to come up with that title. I hope you all
I
understand
know.
they were paid more money than
know.
us to come
And
up with that bullshit.
Andy Serkis is making this movie, by the way. He's directly involved with Jackson and the others. So and we know Andy. Of course, he is Gollum, but we also know that he can make a movie. He's capable, and he's got Peter
I like Andy
Jackson, who's a
Serkis.
really good movie maker, sitting there right next to him. So
I like Andy Serkis a lot. I think
I
he's
do.
underrated talent overall. It might be fine. It's just I don't know, man. I almost don't want it to succeed because it's just going to encourage them to do more, even if it's good. It's kind of like the reverse of the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's really, really good, and I want more of it, but we're not going to get it because it didn't succeed. I want this to be also really, really good and not succeed, just because I don't want them to keep fucking around with the Lord of the Rings. Just leave it alone. You nailed
Yeah.
it. That
Yeah.
first trilogy is as close to a masterpiece of perfection I've ever seen. You did it. Leave it be. Set it down. Just set it down and walk away. It's done.
Yeah. No, I
Don't
get
be
your
George
point.
Lucas for Christ's sake.
No,
Leave it alone,
quit
George.
touching
George.
it. Fair enough. This is set from Gollum's point of view. So it's going to be through the eyes of Gollum, which
Yeah.
means it's going to be heavily Andy Serkis doing his thing. So I don't know, but I don't mind the idea of it. I don't mind the idea of it because they got the team back together, you know.
We got the
Um,
band back
and
together.
it depends on how much interference they get because that's what really hurt The Hobbit. And
It's such a shame.
it is. Roger.
Amazon got the Silmarillion. They got all of that, and they made the most dog shit bullshit I've ever seen. The only thing they've made worse is the Wheel of Time, which oh my god.
That's just disrespectful.
I mean,
Dude.
talk about just utterly disrespectful to a great literary work. And then they said, you know what? Watch, we can do better. I mean, worse, much worse
Yeah.
with the Rings of Power bullshit. I knew it was over the moment I saw a black dwarf. I said, okay, all right, we're done here.
Yeah, and
We're done here.
Yeah, no, and of course the problem is because they can't stop race swapping and gender swapping stuff, even though
Yeah.
it is literally an Anglo-Saxon tale.
That's right.
And which has nothing to do with any of those things. And the thing that kills me is it's just like, all right, you really want to show black people doing cool stuff. So dude, go make black movies, dude. There's an entire industry on it, It's shit,
Well,
but have at it.
there's black people in the lore. They exist. Bring them in. Bring one in. Let's see what he's doing.
From the East, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Bring an Easterner in and let's see what he's up to. Give him something to do. Give him something fun to do. That's a whole part of it that Tolkien never really touched. He left it
Yeah.
open-ended. You could have all kinds of fun.
Actually, you
nope.
can have a Easterner coming in and run it as their perspective as the armies have been called in by Sauron. Of course, they don't necessarily know that. and
Yeah.
just coming into the fray and coming into the situation and having their perspective on coming into Middle Earth, right?
Yeah. Could be
That
cool.
that could be interesting. It could be.
Well,
Um,
there's whole massive battles that weren't in the movies, right?
no, right?
A lot of them take place in the eastern
Yeah,
areas. You could see that.
you
We
could.
could see those.
We
Yeah.
certainly could. And Roger, in regards to Harry Potter, Um, there is nothing I know as far as movies go, which is a shame because they should be expanding on that. They
Yes.
tried, but they did screw that up. But I do know that HBO is making the series to retell the original movies, and of course they've
Mhm.
woke the hell out of it, so they're getting a lot of
Yeah.
backlash.
You know
But
what else would be kind of cool, Chester? The reign of Aragorn. His
yeah,
reign,
that could be
because he
interesting.
reigns for a long time. You could
He
see
does,
because we know what happens. He told us. Tolkien
yeah.
told us, even up to when he just decides to die, because apparently that's how he works. Uh, yeah, that could be interesting because he was gonna when he was gonna write the sequel, which he wrote some of it. He was gonna skip ahead to after he was dead, and it was like his grandson or great grandson, whatever, was the king now. And so it would be kind of interesting, I think, to just flesh that out a little bit. You could do interesting stuff with it as him as the king of basically all of Middle Earth, and go from there. We know what he does. He goes on a grand crusade to basically genocide the orcs, uh, and he succeeds by all accounts. That could be interesting to see, but they won't do that, of course, because it makes genocide's evil, even though they're killing a literal pestilence. It's not like these are actual people, the orcs. Uh, but because there's also, he helps the dwarves, reestablishes them, especially in the east. Again, back to the east. There's a lot of stuff that happens in his like 200 and some year reign. I can't remember. Uh, that you could touch on, and you could actually show instead of there always being weird marital drama, just show a good marriage. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
And he's also got a
Because they
lot of little one-shot stories that he did
Yeah.
for background lore that you could do any of those.
Yeah, but no, you get girl boss, rings of power. That's what you get. You get black
Yeah.
elves, which makes no fucking
Hardcore,
sense in Lord of
which
the
doesn't make
Rings.
any
None.
sense at all. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not at all. However, anyway, moving along here. Now, just to take a look at some of the other things we could have talked about today. Of course, there's a bunch of Master of the Universe stuff. People are really worried. Zack Snyder is not giving up. He's still posting imagery and everything because desperately he wants back in the game. You got to give him credit for his tenacity. You got to give him credit for
You
that.
don't quit.
He
You
don't
don't tap
quit.
out.
He's still doing that.
If only he had that
Batman.
much drive to make a good movie.
Yeah, yeah. But Batman's in the Epstein files. That ain't good. Not
Oh.
good. Um, more Epstein nonsense.
Right.
Um, great.
You
Let's
taking
see
anything?
here. Let's see.
It's
Same
there.
old Disney. Woke executives elevated to top
Why can
positions
you
as
drive? You
head
want me to drive?
storyteller. Of course.
Why do you say
Uh,
that? Instead of give me the
the
remote?
director who did Predator Badlands has left Disney because they suck and the movie flopped. We got commercial with Millie Alcock. They're really trying to sell this girl, Grimlock, doing the Puppy
Oh,
Bowl. This little girl, little Australian girl who's playing Supergirl, right?
oh,
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
be back in like 20, 25 minutes or so. Be right back.
Okay. So Pirates of the Caribbean reboot rumors include Jack Sparrow's son, Margot Robbie. Now hold on a second. Pirates of the Caribbean reboot.
that is poorly worded.
Jack Sparrow's son, Margot Robbie. You never know how they with them these days, dude. You never know. Margot could be playing a dude. You know how they are. Don't care.
Nobody look, look. Whether they want to hear this or not, the franchise is Jack Sparrow. You probably, I know they didn't. They may not have necessarily intended it that way when they started it, but when you think of Pirates of the Caribbean, you think Jack Sparrow, you
Only.
think
Yeah.
Johnny Depp,
It's his series. Yes.
and every other character. Whether you, and look, and everybody's got their favorite. I liked Barbosa and Davy Jones. I know everybody had their other favorites,
Yeah,
but
Barbosa was great. Yeah,
it's but when you think of it, like you said, you think of it, it's Johnny Depp, it's Captain Jack, and to have it be anything else, you're just wasting your time.
you are.
It's like doing a fucking James Bond movie with anything other than James Bond.
Yep.
Just stop.
Stop it. Yeah, and of course the thing with Pirates of the Caribbean is I would say that series is done. How about not making any more? How about try to do something else? Try to make something else that becomes popular. We've done
They
plenty
can't.
enough Pirates of the Caribbean. We don't need more. Um,
They don't.
yeah,
They chased away all the talent that could, and all the talent they have can't.
that's true. Monarch Legacy of Monsters season 2 has Kurt Russell in it, so who knows, right?
It can be good.
War Machine with Alan Rickson. Now this guy won't shut his damn mouth. He's a TDS sufferer. Channing Tatum injured. Aw, Channing, what'd you do? Separated shoulder, undergoes surgery. That sucks. Take Two CEO shuts down GTA 6 physical release delay rumors. Well, you have delayed it over and over. Yeah, no. So there must be a reason for it. Trump out. Paramount still confident in Warner Brothers Discovery win over Netflix. I'm not even covering this, so I didn't put it up here today because we got to wait and see what this freaking debacle is going to happen, because it is what it is. Henry Cavill Voltron movie moves forward with toy launch. Nice. Do they have pictures of the toy launch? Hold on a second. This was the best one. When they chose to change to the automobiles, they made a huge mistake.
Yes.
No, I guess we have no information on the pictures, but yeah, Voltron was great, man. Did you enjoy Voltron, or are you too young?
Yeah, no, no, Voltron was right there in that wheelhouse,
Yeah.
early mid 80s. Yeah.
Who is this extremely gay child? Alfie Allen. Well, he even got a gay name. The Institute season 2. Oh yeah, that thing was horrible.
Mm,
I mean, could you possibly do a more gay headshot? What are you trying to be a gigolo or something? Did you hear Keir
mm,
Starmer's in so much trouble? Of course, he's in a lot of trouble. But it seems Keir, I mean, shocking to all of us who took one look at the guy. He likes really young Ukrainian male prostitutes. And I
mm.
don't know what he did to them, but he pissed them off because they're trying to burn his cars down, his houses down, and him in general. He really pissed them off, boy. So that's a thing. But I mean, are you surprised that Keir Starmer is an absolute out of control homosexual?
Wouldn't be surprised.
No, no, obviously not. Let's see here. I don't care about from. Um, and finally, Netflix admits that Superman underperformed. Of course it did. Lost money. Um, yeah, okay, whatever, Ruffalo. Ted Sarandos grilled at Senate hearing over Netflix transgender ideology and kids content. Yeah, well, there,
Yes, he
it
was.
is the agenda, dude.
He was repeatedly, and he did not do a good job answering that shit.
Well, it is the agenda. It's very clear what they're doing. They're trying to gay up the world. Now, I don't know what their purpose is. I can guess. It's probably accurate, but I mean, they are trying to gay up the world. It is what it is. Problem is 96% of people are not uh uh don't lean toward that proclivity. Um okay, they're doing the Schneider release for IMAX or whatever. Uh Josh De Amaro, named CEO of Walt Oh yeah, this guy, he's not going to be any better than Bob Iger, dude. Uh Yeah, Trump Trump
Yeah, because
Trump
he
definitely wants
wasn't
more
he
of them.
picked, wasn't that dude picked by
Iger,
IU?
probably. Yeah, probably. I'm sure he's not
Because
going
if
to
he
be
was
any
picked,
better.
yeah.
Oh, so okay, so she's not in the Super Bowl ad, uh, but we have the DC puppies doing the puppy bowl stuff. All right. Do you have any idea? Because I know the game is probably not even finished, is it? Um,
No, it's 11 minutes to go in the fourth.
so during the halftime show, of course, they do the Puppy Bowl, but they also have the Turning Point USA is doing an alternative Super Bowl halftime, run by Kid Rock, against the foreigner who can't even speak English that hates America, as he.
He could speak English, but I know why he was picked. It
Yeah, because
and
he's
I
the
know
right
some
color and he's
people.
gay.
No, it's not even that. It's more of the NFL trying to expand their international audience because Bad Bunny does have a big international following. That
Never
so
even
I
heard of the
from
guy.
that perspective I understand. Well, he also did some stuff with the WWE a couple years ago, and he's actually solid as a wrestler. Like I prefer what he did with the WWE to his music, me personally. But I think he was a terrible choice because I know that even though the NFL is trying to be more international, because I'm pretty sure you didn't see it, but they just signed a deal to do regular season games in Madrid, Spain, starting next season.
Sure, wonderful.
So
Let me give Mr.
oh,
What's his name? Gordell? Is that his name?
Goodell,
Roger
Roger
Gordell?
Goodell.
Goodell. Well, let me give him a little bit of information, even though you would think he would have stats in front of him. The world loves to look down on America any chance they get, particularly Europeans, who would be the market you're looking for, right? And one thing that they love to mock us on is how stupid football is. So stupid. You Americans is stupid. Rugby's so much better, even though they're not really even rugby fans either. They're soccer fans, right?
Here's the thing though. The games that they've done in England and Germany and Mexico have done really well in terms of the turnout. So
I
as
get
much
it.
as
Well, we
people
also
may
had the
disagree
World
with,
League, if you remember.
yeah,
That
and
died.
as much as people may disagree with it, it at least at the moment it's working because it's not even and to be honest, it's not even like the NFL is sending over like the best matchups for these
No,
games. Quite a few of these games have been,
and
pretty shit matchups.
right. And to be
But as
fair, they mock us, but they're also flock to our stuff. It is true. That is
yeah,
true. But I'm just saying that
so
the foreigners have no respect for football whatsoever, guys. None.
you-
I've tried
it-
to
it-
explain a couple times the difference, and they don't care. They just don't care. It's just dumb
but I
American
understand that
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
not their sport, it's not their culture. They shouldn't have to.
No,
It's
they
just
shouldn't.
like, like I love sumo, but I'm not asking sumo to change for my taste. I'm taking sumo for what sumo is.
Yeah. No, they are strategy games.
So
Football, particularly tank. The reason why football is simply a superior modern version of rugby is kind of coming off the soccer concept, and it's fun. I like rugby, but football is trying to make the game a little bit more cerebral, meaning because one of the things they love to mock is that we take a break after each play for what 45
mhm.
seconds or whatever it is, 25 seconds. No, that's basketball. But so the the thing that they don't get is yes, we do that, but it's so that we can plan strategically. There's literally a battle of minds between the offensive coach and the defensive coach. They don't get that, and it doesn't matter anyway. They just want to hate something, so it is what it
Then
is.
they must not. Then they must really not get sumo because you're doing a lot of training for a bout that usually ends in a minute or less.
Oh, much less. Yeah, much less. But I don't think sumo is very popular amongst the Europeans either. But
They did really well on their British tour, the
well, that's
Royal
good.
Albert Hall.
Yeah, it's but
They did
you
really.
have to put in perspective. What does good mean, right? Like if I'll ask you a question, here, let me bring this back over real quick. Let me ask you a question to you in the chat. What is Europe's most popular sport for the average person to go out and get involved with, right? Now in
It's
America,
probably for
it's probably
with
golf
soccer.
or basketball, right?
Hmm.
What do you think it is in Europe?
Darts.
Darts is very popular in Britain, true.
Yeah.
But Europe is far more than Britain, right? The actual answer to this question you would never guess, chat. You would never guess. The answer is biathlon.
Hmm.
And you say, what
No, I
does that
wouldn't have guessed.
mean, Chester? What is a biathlon? Well, it's very simple. They ski very long distances. They stop, they shoot. They ski again for a lot of distance. They stop, they shoot. They usually go in circles. And sometimes they even do relays. But of all the sport, which you would think America would be amazing at. We ski and we're the most gun friendly country on the planet, but we kind of suck at biathlon. But the European people, I'm not talking about people who go to the Olympics and stuff like that, just the people themselves. It is the most popular sport, biathlon. This should tell you a lot.
I I I would have thought football/soccer,
Probably to watch it,
darts.
but to play themselves, no. Biathlon is
Hmm.
by far. It's not even close.
That's kind of
It's
crazy because if you think about it, right? Because you're saying soccer, where soccer is you got a lot of running, but you also have, depending on where you are on the field, you're kind of not doing all that much.
no.
If you're doing biathlon, you're in constant
You're in constant
movement.
stress, but that's what they like. But it also might
I
explain
mean,
why you hardly see any fat people in Europe.
well, hey, that also explains a lot too,
Yeah,
right?
it
If
does.
you constantly moving, you can't be fat.
It's true. But the most lazy sport on the planet is baseball, unless you're the pitcher and the catcher.
And well, the World Baseball Classic is getting ready to start.
Yeah, but do Americans even know
It
that
was,
exists yet?
oh yes, they do.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, especially the
Took a
last
couple of
classic
decades.
where where it came down to Japan and the United States. I don't know if you had saw it where it was like it was literally actual cinema where it came down to the USA and Japan and it was fucking Shohei coming out of the bullpen to face his then teammate Mike Trout at the end at in the bottom of the ninth with the series on the line. That was like fucking great. I'm
No, that's cool.
hoping we can get something that good again.
Well, that's cool.
Um,
You like lots of sports, and I like sports too. But I only watch very little things. I watch racing. I used to watch football religiously, but then they went woke, and I was like, nah, that's enough of that.
it's,
That
hey,
Kaepernick thing pissed me off, dude. It pissed me
the
off. What the
grand,
hell are you doing?
you know what the funny thing is? See, I'm on the side where, and I guess this comes with being mixed. I'm on the side where I catch shit from both sides when it comes to fucking Kaepernick. Because on one hand, I really don't care that he did that shit because I kept telling people I know why he did that shit.
Yeah, because
People
he
want to
was.
act. No,
Go
he
ahead.
was playing himself out of the league. That's
Yeah,
the
he
thing.
was. He wanted
But
money.
people
He
don't
wanted attention.
but he had money. But here's the thing, and I try to get people to understand this. 85% of your success as an NFL player is directly based on who drafts you, where you end up.
Sure.
Because football, like you said, football is a strategic game. It's the most strategic game of any sport, to where a particular player can look great in a particular style of football,
Right.
a particular offensive style or defensive style. And if you remove him from that system, they look bad. And it's not that the player is bad; it's that the system plays to his strength.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
like quarterbacks who play good in the West Coast offense can't play in like some of the older school offenses. They
right.
look like dog.
I get your
And
point in that
Kaepernick was
regard.
and Kaepernick was one of those dudes when he first came in, and Jim Harbaugh was his coach. Jim Harbaugh created had a system, and a really talented team that allowed Kaepernick to work to his strengths and look good. And when the 49ers removed Harbaugh, Kaepernick's flaws became real apparent very fast
Right.
to the point where he got benched. People forget this. He got benched by another quarterback who was considered a bust as well. So he didn't just get replaced. He got replaced by a guy a lot of people thought was a stumble bum too.
Yeah.
So that made it even worse.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I
on
get it.
top of that, because of revisionist history, people forget this part of the Kaepernick story. The Denver Broncos, who just won the Super Bowl, was willing to trade for him because Peyton Manning retired and they needed a quarterback. And
Yeah.
they was willing to trade for Kaepernick as long as he agreed to take a pay cut because they just paid their Super Bowl MVP, Von Miller. And I have to mention that he was black, so people don't play the race card. Oh, they wanted a black quarterback to take a pay cut. Yes, because they just paid their black defensive all star who helped them win their first Super Bowl in over a decade the money he was worth.
Right.
So they said, hey, look, we just paid Vaughn. If you come, you're going to have to take a pay cut. And Kaepernick said no.
Mm.
And 49ers said, well, hell, we're not going to keep you because we already got somebody else. So they let him go. And everybody likes to play this revisionist history. Oh, it's because he stood up against the media. First of all, he violated the code of conduct because they do have a code of conduct in the NFL, whether people like it or not, have one of the strictest code of conducts of any of the sports. You could get fined $10,000 for your socks not being up at the right length. So that's how strict they are. You don't have to fucking like it. That's what they have. That's what they agreed to when they signed their contracts. He violated the shit.
Yeah, he did.
And you can
Yeah, he
say,
did.
oh, he's he's expressing his freedom of speech. When you're under contract, you kind of forfeit your freedom of speech. You are under contract at a
Well,
private firm.
but he's also expressing feelings that are based upon a lie. They're complete bullshit. I can remember his name, that dumb black guy that took the drugs and killed himself. What's his name? The whole world went crazy. Um,
Well, you just named quite a few people.
yeah, I know, but the one who made all the thing Kaepernick was reacting to, really, George Floyd, that guy.
Well,
Um,
that was way after Kaepernick
was it?
started.
Was it? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I thought it
yeah,
was related. But nevertheless,
no.
it was just complete bullshit. Because the simple fact of the matter is, black people are actually under arrested and under affected by police. That's the reality. But nevertheless, I have a question that has nothing to do with that. With the draft, because you mentioned that. Now, I've watched draft maybe twice. I don't really pay much attention to the draft. I just watch football. However, when you are chosen by a team, you can deny, right? You don't have to take that offer, that draft pick. You can say, no, I'm not interested, right?
It rarely happens, but it does happen.
Yeah, so you
The
can do that.
last
Yeah,
the last two times it happened, believe it or not, both happened in the '80s with two guys who were generational talents. Um, John Elway was one, and the
interesting.
other one, you may not believe this, was Bo Jackson.
Wow,
Bo Jackson was originally set to be drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who back then was fucking awful,
they were. Yeah,
and and he also was he also refused to at the time because he had already been drafted into Major League Baseball. He refused to cut his Major League season short to start playing football. So anybody who drafted him knew that for the first month or maybe more, you would not have Bo available to you. And that's essentially how he ended up being a Raider because He ended up going back into the draft the next year, and the Raiders took him, I believe, in the second round that following year.
Right.
Because I believe he was supposed to have come out in the '85 draft and didn't because he refused Tampa Bay. I could be getting the years mixed up.
Well, I remember Bo back in the far enough that because I was in Alabama when I was off and on as a kid, right? Because my dad's from Mobile,
Mhm.
and I do remember played for, I think he played for Auburn,
Auburn.
and
Yes, he
they
did.
were against the Crimson Tide, of course, Alabama. And these are two Alabama teams fighting. And he went to the line and took a left, and nobody could get over it of how stupid a
How,
move.
how awesome! How awesome was it to be in the '80s in Alabama with Auburn, where you had freaking Bo Jackson and Charles Barkley on the campus at the same time?
Right? Yeah, Auburn. But I would be from Southern Alabama, so Crimson Roll Tide all day long. You know, fuck Auburn. But yeah, we got our elephant. And I don't know what the hell our Auburn what orange. All right, you go.
No, Tigers, man, the Auburn Tigers.
I was
Hey,
being
look, that's a hell of
facetious.
a ju-
It's
just for just for the idea of it, a tiger versus an elephant.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's that's just like the New York versus Boston thing, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, because my family are south, Mobile, as far south as you get, and they are staunch Tide supporters, staunch. You know, I worry sometimes that they might burn down Auburn's campus. I mean, that's how crazy they are. Because I'm a New
I
Englander,
love the
right? But boy, they are
dedication.
staunch. Roll Tide. But I remember that game though, because everybody was watching it. Of course, football is God down in Alabama, though,
Oh
without
yes.
question. Yeah. But anyway, let's take a look at this box office here. Now, Send Help is getting a lot of noise from people. We mentioned it before. It's basically there's a crash with an employee and a secretary, and it's definitely about how he's the man boss and he wants her to do this and that, but she's going to do her own thing because this is not a work situation. So it's definitely kind of wokey, for sure. But then again, there must be more to it because a lot of commentators, I haven't watched a review, but a lot of commentators seem to have very positive opinion on it. So maybe there's more to it. However, $25 million in their pocket, 26. This is a Disney production, so
Ooh.
you know. But I doubt this was expensive, dude. So they might be actually somewhere near money. So it's doing well. Solo Mio, of course, is
Three.
from Angel Studio. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just looking at how many theaters that was in. 34, 3,475 theaters. That's not bad.
It's not bad. And like I said, I gotta watch a review on it because it's getting it's getting noise that I didn't expect. So there might be more to that movie than I just anticipated. Judging a book by its cover and all. This one I saw the trailer, Solo Mio, and this is from Angel Studios. They make Christian stuff or wholesome stuff, and it's got the Paul Blart Mall Cop guy
Oh,
in it.
Kevin James.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
think I actually saw a commercial for that.
yeah. I saw the trailer for this, and this is not a movie I'd ever watch, but for some reason I want to watch it. It's weird.
You
It's
just
like,
want something. No, I know what it is. You just want something wholesome.
yeah, it's kind of like the Hugh Jackman and doing the um uh doing that movie was not Neil Sedaka. I can't remember, but he's it's a tribute movie to a tribute band. I want to watch that too. Um,
Um, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the title.
Dum 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 da 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 da. I know one of the
But
songs.
I've seen the commercial.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I just can't think of the
it
title
it
to
just
say.
caught my attention. Yeah, but this one right here is about a guy who gets left at the altar, and he ends up finding true love in Rome. And he's got a bunch of friends around him who you wouldn't expect to be in a romantic drama. But I don't know. It just looks fun, dude. I got to watch
You know
this.
what? You know what it could be. Because we've talked about this before. It's like when when Will Ferrell did Stranger Than Fiction, and Jack Black did the movie was I think called The Holiday, where they was both kind of doing roles that were different from all the other movies you've seen them do,
Right.
and maybe with Kevin James, this movie could be that type of movie where it's like, oh wow, he's doing something different. That's
Yeah.
nice, Like,
Yeah. I'm going to watch it, and it'll be a movie my wife will love to watch. You know. So I will watch this movie, and I hope it's great because I don't know. The trailer just caught me. It's a love story. It's a romance. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Now, Iron Lung. Dude, Markiplier, rock on, brother. This
so
17 million in his pocket. Dude.
so I've heard something interesting about this. I heard that after but this is the third week it's been out.
Yeah.
So I think after they said after the second day was pulled out of the theaters for some reason. If that I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was, that's pretty wild. That would because this is actually bringing in money,
It is. Yeah. It is. And it's got to
and
make money
from what
elsewhere
I've
as well.
heard, and from what I heard, the budget was on that the he only spent $3 million on this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely a major success,
So
and he's a happy boy. And the thing with it is very interesting. I probably said this before, but I'll say it again. I My son loved Markiplier, so therefore I know who he is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a clue who he is. Um,
yeah,
but this guy, he does many things, but one of the things he would play games, horror games, because he gets super overly scared. Now I know he's playing it up for the camera, but he's good at looking terrified. And I imagine what happened with this. I'm guessing because this is a video game, a very simple little hidden object type of video game as well, right? And he was probably playing it, and in the end, he probably said, that's a pretty good story. Or that's a pretty good game. It would make a great movie. I bet he said something like this, and his people, because he's got a following, were like, well, then do it then. And he was like, "Well, shit, I will." And he contacted these people. They were like, "Yes, please," because it's a little obscure game, right? And he made it happen. So I'm sure that's what happened, something like that, right? And unless it's deeper and somehow he's behind the actual game itself, which I don't think so. But that is just kind of cool, dude. And I'm happy for him.
hmm.
Yeah, you know. So yeah,
I mean, I seen some people kind of like shitting on the success that he's had because it's like, oh well, he's been around a long time and it was $3 million. It's not like he had to struggle to get it. It's like, would you motherfuckers pick a lane?
I
Y'all
know,
always
right?
talk about having um, an alternate source of entertainment, but then somebody actually comes out
Yeah,
and does it and go, no, 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 not that way. Not
yeah.
which way do you want it done?
Yeah.
It seems like,
He probably
and I've
invested
said
his
this
own
before.
money, dude. He's under his
Well,
distribution.
he did, but that's what I'm saying. But I hear people say this, and this is kind of like these arguments I've heard over the past few years. It's like you say, oh, you don't like where the mainstream industry is, and the mainstream industry has been deeply infected, and everybody talks about you want an alternate avenue, and then somebody comes and shows that yes, you can and be successful, and then you go, oh no, not him because reasons. It's like motherfucker,
Yeah,
come on.
I hadn't heard anything like
This is
that.
the reason. I've seen some on social media, and it's like you see this, and I'm like, this is why I'm glad AI is coming, and
Yeah,
it's got
yeah,
so many of you artsy fartsy motherfuckers with your cheeks so tight you could fucking put a lump of coal in between them and squeeze a diamond.
right. Yeah.
That because you're causing this. You guys, I'm not saying that you should become Markiplier fans, but to the ones who are criticizing, oh, because it was $3 million, tip your cap down
So what are they
because
complaining about? That he spent his own money and make a film? I don't understand the complaint.
it's kind of this. Well, you've probably seen these people like who claim to be indies, like, well, he can't be that indie if he got $3 million. It's like So you're mad that he's successful
All
because
right.
that's what it sounds like.
Well, let's do a minute of research and see, which
Because
these idiots never
because
do.
well, it's the same thing that they said with Claire Obscura. Everybody was touting Claire Obscura, and then they were, well, they got some of their funding from a trust fund kid. It's like, but they still
So
wasn't
what?
getting their funding from a major corporation, which was the whole point of being indies. I thought was that you wasn't under a major corporation. So if these
All right.
guys are not under major corporations, why are you mad?
Yeah, I
You
know.
should be
And let's see. I did a quick
checking.
little search. Took a second. Grimlock. Let's see. Markiplier self-financed the film Iron Lung using his own resources to cover production costs, which were around $3 million. He also involved his audience in the process, leveraging his large following to generate interest and support for the project. As you, of course, he would. Let's see. Self-financing. Mark Fishbach took a unique approach to funding the film. He financed the project, which means he used his own resources. Rock on. If you want it done, do it yourself, right? It's that kind of situation, isn't it? The production budget for Iron Lung, okay, yeah, and it's grossed over 31 million. Of course, we know it's done more. The viability of independent filmmakers, especially when leveraging a strong fan base. Yep. Multipliers effectively engaged his audience throughout the film's development. With a following of 38 million subscribers, he built anticipation and support for the project, which contributed to its box office success. His strategy involved making fans feel part of the filmmaking process, which helped generate significant interest and attendance during its theatrical release or ongoing theatrical release. Now, that's how you do that, though. So because I don't watch Markiplier, but that means the entire process for probably a year or more, he's been chatting it up on his chat, talking about it, getting him involved, getting ideas, probably bringing in various people to do chats with him during his live streams. So yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing, precisely. So this has
Yeah,
been a building excitement amongst his 38 million subscribers for a long time. That's great, dude. I have
yeah.
no idea why you would bitch about that. That is weird. You are weird.
There, there are some people out here. I don't know why. I'm not an artist. I'm not an entertainer. But it's weird watching people like when they say they want other avenues, and then you see other avenues, and it's like, oh, not that. It's kind of like the Eric July thing all over again. It's like, oh, we need more indie spaces, but not that guy. Why?
Why
Because
not?
fuck him. What
He
did he
went
do?
out, busted his ass, get out there and built a thing and made a thing and did a thing. What the hell are you upset about? It's exactly what we wanted people. Eric July is exactly what the whole point of Comicsgate was. It's exactly what
Yeah,
it was. And everybody and their brother should have been behind, but of course it all got spoiled by little spoiled brats out there mouthing off and trying to be gatekeepers. And I'm using that word. I know the implication, and I'm using
yeah,
it correctly. Eric July is exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. And we saw a lot of people trying to bang at it, and they didn't get the support they needed. He went out and built an audience and made it. And now keep in mind, I've been saying here, now I got a very small channel. I know that. But I've been saying from day one, if you want to be successful in this gig, you need to build an audience first. I've been telling people this for years and years and years. You need to go out and make an audience first. You can't unless you can get hooked up with a big publisher, right? You need to make an audience first. And that's what he did. He went and did exactly what he was supposed to do and he created a thing. Now you can say, "Well, it wasn't good enough." Oh, fuck off, do better then. I mean, that shit pisses me off, Grimlock, because I don't know Eric at all. I mean, I know we kind of probably interacted with him on the chats or something, but I don't know him, right? But he
yeah,
did exactly what we've been telling people to do, and good on him. I'm happy as shit for him, dude. Seriously,
yep.
and people like Ethan Van Sciver, I'm happy for them when they have success too, even though they cause so much trouble for everybody. I want people to have success in this genre. And Eric July is a perfect example, and I understand all the hate. But then again, a lot of that hate is coming from Ethan and his cronies because for
Yeah,
some reason, why he didn't kiss the ring well enough, Ethan? What the fuck's wrong with
yeah.
you, dude?
Where
I
he
don't know. I
and
wish I knew. I don't know what's going on, Mike Roger.
yeah, unfortunately, it's been quiet on that front. Hope he's well.
He's functional. He's alive, but he had a major stroke. He did, and
That's it.
medicines these
Depending on how
days are
bad it
way
is.
better. But he's not going to recover quickly from that, dude. He won't.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Even because yeah, depending on the severity, that could be years recovery.
Right. Well, it's so bad that his main art hand doesn't work. But he made the
Um,
offhand joke that he can draw with the other one just as well, and he therefore he can do it, and I hope he can. But it is a major stroke, dude. It sucks because he's not that old. I mean, he's I'm older than he is, right? So it really is unfortunate, especially that he is a talent. Now he's a bit of more of a workman artist than like a generational visionary. Fair enough, but he's a good workman's artist. And he's got a big family to support. It's not good, dude. It's not good. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, Roger.
yeah, that's
It is. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure anybody who has had a family member or
yeah,
a friend who's gone through that, it's not easy. Like some people are fortunate. I have seen,
yep,
you know, I've seen God work in mysterious ways where some people will have a stroke and recover within hell a couple of weeks, and it was
yeah,
back to normal. And
yeah, yeah. I've seen that
well,
too.
some people don't have strokes,
Yeah,
and they
but
was
I've
never.
also seen people never recover.
Yeah,
So it goes both ways. I hopefully his is on the latter. And to be fair, modern medicines when it comes to strokes are way better. They are way better. So it's going to be better than it would be for say grandpa who had a stroke for
yeah,
sure. But we'll keep in we do have ability to contact with his people. And I know we have people on this channel who are communicating. I would say, Roger, that I will know more probably on this week's Drawn and Quarter Ultimate Edition because all those guys are on Mike's show all the time. They interact with him much closer than me. So we'll find out though. But it is a shame. It is a shame, and that's for everybody. But anyway, Markiplier, you go, dude. Rock on, brother, because that's what you should be doing. And honestly, someone it doesn't piss me off, but someone who I wish would take a bit of initiative. He's done a couple things, but someone I really would I'd like to see take a bit of initiative is Asmon, because he is what he is. He doesn't need much, but he's a multimillionaire, right? He has money. And I've seen him do a couple projects where he's working with other people to create things, but he could do stuff like this. Asmon could do stuff like this. And I wish he'd put a foot forward, but I don't know. He's kind of a lazy neckbeard, to be fair.
if it might well also. He might not, have that kind of creativity. I mean, he has the
Maybe not.
resources.
Yeah.
You know, just having the resources ain't enough. You gotta have a
No,
little
it's
bit of
not.
both.
And he shifted hardcore. I don't know if you've noticed, but he's pretty much all about the politics stuff now, which
Well,
he
see,
Makes
never
the
more
talked
funny
money.
about
thing
that
is,
before.
I was not an Asmongold. Like I knew of him, but I never really like listened to him until recently.
Oh, he's a griefer. He's
And
great. Yeah.
and it's so funny, like, but it's funny watching him and people like him that have made these shifts because I remember when I made my shift years before, and it's like, and it's almost like you're almost watching a time loop, except that you're not watching yourself, you're watching other people, but it's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's watching people have that moment, like, yep,
Right.
that's where I was too,
Hey, he woke up.
and
He did wake up. You're right. But it is a little unfortunate because mainly for my video game news, there's a few people I watch. Legacy Killer, Asmongold, and Splattercat Gaming are the ones I watch. Splattercat Gaming's the best if you want indie stuff because he covers new stuff almost every day. He's if you want information and new games, that's the place to go. And he does playthroughs for you too, and they're short, sweet, and right to the point. I love Raptor as well, but that's a community experience. Legacy Killer, he covers video games and really good news article, little vlogs. But Asmon, I've always enjoyed watching him talk about games, but I haven't seen a game in quite a while. It's been a while.
There
Oh,
He's
he
hasn't
was
been
just
much.
he was just watching the gameplay for that Crimson Desert, which looks
he
unbelievable,
did
by
he
the
did
way.
yeah,
Holy crap, that game looks amazing.
but when's the last time you've seen him play? Now Crimson Desert, I watched well over a year ago, like almost 2 years ago. I've already seen the beta run throughs on that, right? So I've seen a lot on that game already. It does look good, but you are restricted to playing a specific character in the game, though.
Well, there's three of them. There's apparently three main characters you can play, so you get a little variety. But yeah, you don't
A
get to
little
make
bit,
your own.
yeah, which I don't like. But it does look good. You are right. It looks like doing a good job. But they're gonna loot box you to hell, dude. You know they are.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, it is interesting, Grimlock, watching Asmon's conversion. But the thing is, it's really common sense. It's just common sense. And because it's so ridiculous what's going on with these freaking socialists, right? That even
Yep.
because Asmongold's a liberal, obviously. I mean, he grew up in a very liberal household. He's what, California, right?
No, he's
But
in
Okay.
Austin.
He's in Austin,
Austin, he's in Texas. Okay, but nevertheless, which is a very
but
liberal
it's
city.
Austin. Yeah, it's
Uh,
Austin.
so, but it is interesting to see his conversion and stuff. But I don't see as many gaming stuff as because that's why I go. That's why I went to Asmongold to see his take on it because he's a brutal neckbeard, right? He's a
Well, here's the other thing, though. There's been so many cancellations over the last
yeah,
two to
they have,
3 years.
yeah,
It's like I watched the Nintendo Direct that went on this week, the third party Direct, and like they had nothing, like really, like and usually Nintendo Directs have some gems up there, like something to be excited for. Like the thing I was
right.
most excited for is like they brought back the Bomberman collection. If you're a fan of
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bomberman,
yeah, Bomberman. Yeah.
that was like that was it.
What's next? Dig Dug?
And
Big
hey, you know what? If they gave me
Doug's
some
a good
Dig
time.
Dug
Can be.
and with a modern engine at 60 frames per second, yeah, I'll play the fuck out of some Dig Dug.
Dude, I actually saw. Speaking of Dig Dug, I actually it's been a year or so ago, but I went through a phase because of my work schedule, really, where in between, because I'm very efficient about. I always do work first and play later, right? That's my mentality and always has been. The problem is not a problem. The thing is, I become so efficient at my work prep that it takes me very little time. So I have free time, but I can't move because I have a class coming in an hour or something like that, right? So I'm stuck
Yeah,
for an hour in the office. And I don't know why, but I just never really set up a computer in the office for me. The secretary, there's a desk for them, and they have a kind of standard Japanese NEC computer, but you ain't gaming on that shit, right? That's just for office work, and it's weird because Japanese computing is all about that. They don't make killer computers. I don't know why. Nevertheless, so I went for a phase where I was playing on my Apple iPad mobile games, right? And there are a few ones that are kind of fun. And there was this one game I was playing that it wasn't quite. It was more cutesy than sexy, but you know how there's like a ton of mobile games that are all about the sexy gotcha girl thing,
Oh yes.
hmm
right? This one was more cutesy, and it wasn't just girls. It was just characters. But basically, you were trying to build a squad and build up your own. I don't know, HQ for something. But basically, the gameplay, other than all of the just kind of almost Sims, the Sims type of gameplay they had in it was basically Dig Dug. It was a full
Hmm.
on ripoff, dude. And I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
There's still there's I keep telling people everybody thinks that some of these games are that people don't want them. I saw somewhere somebody had posted a statistic about a lot of the remakes that have come out over the last 5 years. That a lot of the remakes that over 70% of the people who are buying the remakes had never played the game in
Yeah,
its previous version.
yeah. It's
And
kind of
I thought that was really cool. But it
well,
also,
it is cool. Yeah,
talks about the state of the
it
current
does.
uh, slate because, like you said, like
Zeitgeist. Yeah,
one of the games I was waiting for got canceled last year, and I still haven't gotten a good reason why it got canceled.
yeah, yeah.
Was a Transformers Reactivate. I was waiting years for that game,
Oh wow,
and Hasbro took an axe to it,
they
and
do that, dude.
and there was a lot but there was a lot of games like that, like the Captain America game we was supposed to be getting, that got an axe taken to it.
Yeah,
That
that's
Black
true.
Panther game is probably going to get axed.
I think the
There's
Wolverine one will survive though.
Wolverine will survive. The Blade is still 50-50
Yeah, well, the movie's
because they
done,
haven't
right?
said. Yeah, the movies pretty much, which is sad
It's
because
100%. Yeah.
I know Marvel Rivals isn't your type of game,
No,
but
no.
all you got to do is look at how they depict Blade in that game, and it's like, how hard is this?
Yeah.
The Chinese, they don't even like black people, and
Well,
they got Blade right. How fucking hard?
Chinese like money. Money good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't even like black people, and they got Blade right. And
Hmm.
you got people here who swear they love niggas and can't get this character right.
It's true.
How hard is this to fucking do?
It's true.
Like,
Um, but yeah, no, and to give a little bit of an example of this. Of course, I mentioned my wife and I have been watching the Olympics over in Italy, right up in the Alps,
mhm,
gorgeous. But I'm watching strange feeds over here because I'm in Japan. So the gap between them finishing the race and the medal ceremony, they just kind of leave it running and they're trying to
yeah,
entertain the crowd, right? So it's something you wouldn't normally see. Um, and they're just trying to entertain the crowd because these crowds are pretty big. 20,000 people come out in the snow to watch people ski cross country. It's kind of crazy. But nevertheless, what do you think they're playing what music are they playing the entire time to entertain that crowd? And they're all singing along, dancing, having a good old time. What music do you think it is?
playing Queen.
They're playing Queen. They're playing 80s classics. Yeah.
How did I know that?
Yeah.
I haven't even watched the Olympics yet, and I'm like,
Yeah. 80s.
he-
80s. Isn't it interesting how everything is going fully retro? Because the modern stuff sucks. That's why.
Yep.
And a little game like Dig Dug or Bomberman were good fun back in the day. They were fun. They were. But nevertheless, let me do this because I'm running out of time
well,
rapidly.
okay, well, for those interested, the New England Patriots got their ass waxed in the Super Bowl,
Excellent. I like that.
Who
losing
beat them?
29-13 to the Seattle Seahawks.
All right. Go Seattle. Stray Kids, the dominated experience. Captures the cape. Oh, fuck off. Okay.
Hey, those K-pop movies are they're
Shut
doing it
up.
right now.
I don't want to hear it. All right.
Hey, look, it's not my vibe. I'm not gonna watch that shit. But I gotta look at. Hey, look, well, what did we just say about Markiplier?
Yeah.
Shit's successful.
Yeah, no. I
So,
just don't like the look of it. I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're making money. People are enjoying it. That's all I care about. But this is what a relaunch, or is this a different one than the one we just saw? I have no idea what this Dracula is. Um,
15.
I don't know. They made a little bit of money though from Vertical. It's not a big company though. I have
I've
no
never heard of
clue.
this one.
I have me. I don't think it's the one
What
that
was in
came
it?
out 6 months ago, 8 months ago. That was getting a lot of love. That's the same guy did Fifth Element. Did that one, and it
Does,
was getting a lot of love.
does it say, does it show who's in the cast? Because I have not seen or heard nothing about this one.
No. Let's see. I'll check it real quick.
Hmm. I could go for a Dracula movie if it's good. 'Cause God knows there hasn't been many.
Oh no, this is the one. Yeah, it's the one. They just did a re-release for some reason. It's weird. Maybe just a
Hmm.
re-release in America or something. I don't know. But it is getting a lot of love. They're comparing to the Bram Stoker one, but from a different angle. I'm even scared. Let me go take a look what Zootopia's done to the world. Frickin' a, dude! Look at that. $2 billion movie.
It's
$2 billion.
just about. They're
And
pretty dang close.
So,
dude, and they keep
so that,
telling us that cinema's dead. No one wants to go. Uh huh. Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah.
so
Right.
then that,
You make
so,
you make something
wait,
good, maybe. I mean, shit.
so is Zootopia in Maverick territory? Because I know Maverick
Dude,
had a long
1.8
run.
billion dollars, and this hasn't even gone on to where it's going to make a lot more money in the other venues.
I'm saying when Maverick ended its theater run, what was it like? It was like two plus something billion.
I don't know. Let me see. But I'm just
I
saying that
forgot.
there is money to be made.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I tell people one of my arguments against some of these
Nope.
when I hear some people
1.5
say
billion. This has made
that
more.
was what Maverick did.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
that's actually impressive.
It is. Zootopia
Um,
is crushing it, dude. Avatar,
so
is this cross? Yeah, he ain't gonna make his money. He's 500 million short, dude.
so imagine this: if you make a movie that you can actually go to as a family, you will get butts in the seats. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Simple
No,
concept, isn't it?
it is weird. Now, Lionsgate put out The Strangers, which I'd never care for this series. We're up to number 3. Do you guys know The Strangers? It's just random people murdering people in their house. It's a slasher, you know, uh,
Mm,
the Purge
so it's like
style.
so I was gonna say so it's like a lesser version of the Purge because
Yeah,
I'll just
it's
watch
just
the
in one
Purge.
house though. But maybe it's almost Scream-esque in a way, mixed with The Purge, mixed with a slasher movie. I don't know. It just never appealed to me. However, they got a third one, not doing very well.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would like to see the budget because I mean,
It's probably not
since they're
high.
saying that
It's probably
since they're
not
saying
high.
the theaters are dead. I mean,
Yeah, but they're going to make their money
3,500.
on streaming. That's where they make that money. But it doesn't. No, you can make money in cinema. Just make a good movie.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. All these people who are saying that these are dead, that's dead. I'm like, I go on these crowdfunding sites looking for cool stuff all the time, and I look at how much money, not only the not only how much money certain campaigns draw in, but how many people are actually contributing. And I have seen campaigns where they make millions of dollars and you're doing it with less than 5,000 people contributing,
Right? No, no,
which
yeah.
tells me that there's a lot of fucking money out here.
Yeah, there is. I used to
And
watch
all
that
you
happen
got to
in board
do,
gaming as well.
all you got to do to get a little piece of it is just give people something that they want. And you don't need, and here's the thing that I hope anybody can understand. You don't need a huge market share. Everybody keeps thinking you need to have these huge
Nope.
fucking market share.
No, you don't.
No, I really believe that you can if you can get a 10% base of whatever that market is, if you can get 10%, you probably have enough to sustain yourself and be profitable.
And that's that. You don't even need that much. But yeah, no, you're 100% right in that. And I did analysis on that, breakdown on exactly what the percentages are in the world of people who even know the Hollywood top stars. It's very
Yeah.
minimal. There is money to be made out there. You just got to make good quality stuff. Now, I just looked at a couple movies that didn't make any money and just little basic horror movies. This is from A24, who do make quality film. They actually it's a lower budget studio, but they're good films. They look great. Pillion. Could you read this for me, Thundera, please? Could you read that description, please?
What do we got here? Pillion, a directionless man, is swept off his feet when an enigmatic, impossibly handsome biker takes him on as his submissive.
Okay, this has made 1.7 million, almost 1.8 million dollars.
Mm-hmm.
How dare they even? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Booster, there's a movie for you, buddy. All right. Let's see.
Oh wow.
Okay, we got a re-release here. Whatever, not making any money. Coco.
They made Easy Rider gay. That's what I'm thinking. I'm
They
looking at
did.
that
They
description.
did. Holy shit! This has made some money though. Oh, I know this one. I know what this is. I saw this release in Japan over a year or more ago. So they finally dropped it internationally in 3 theaters. It's made $131 million. What?
Is this a gangster film? What is this?
Is this number wrong, or is that just talk about Japanese domestic is being thrown in there? I don't know. This is probably Japanese money being put on top of it. No, it's about a kabuki actor and it's super gay. Um, so you don't want to watch it. Buffalo
Oh.
Kids animated movie, $10 million. Two Irish
I, I
orphans.
just I just I
Mhm.
just saw where it said gangster family born. I'm like, okay, maybe this is some
No,
Yakuza stuff going
it's yeah, but he becomes a kabuki actor, and dude, it's super gay. It's
on.
super gay. You don't want it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, a NASA documentary only makes $6,000 in one theater. Yay. Okay.
If I'm
So
gonna watch musicals, I'll watch the old stuff. Give me some Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire any day.
yeah, no, fair. But basically, when we have send help, I have to go research this because it is woke, obviously, but must be something about this movie because it's caught on. Iron Lung from Markiplier, rock on, dude. You keep doing what you do. But Zootopia, wow, dude, that movie started in last year, didn't it? Wasn't that a
Yeah,
Christmas
what
movie?
I don't know. I thought
Yeah.
it was before that.
It was. I think it was early December.
Holy crap, dude! 3 month run up in the top 10.
It's killing it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What's Melania doing? I'm sure it's pissing people off. 13 million, yeah, for a little documentary that no one gives a shit about. Yeah.
Oh, it's the most
Anyway,
successful documentary in a decade. It's doing great.
No, dude, it's longer than 3 months. According to this, it says November 26th. So that was Thanksgiving weekend.
wow. Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend. That makes sense though. They do drop those kind of kiddie movies then. They do that. But yeah, Zootopia's crushing it, dude. It's like Kimetsu no Yaiba last year, just crushing it. That thing's going to crush. It's still in the top 10. It's in sixth position, dude. That thing is going to drop $2 billion easy in the cinema.
That
Yeah.
that is
So,
pretty
yeah,
awesome.
rock on, dude. And that's Disney as well, isn't it? Don't they own Zootopia?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
and it was desperate for a hit, and look what the
They
fuck
were.
they just got here.
Well, they do
And this,
crap
and see,
after
and
crap
this
after crap, and then something saves their
and,
ass. It's like Nick Cage.
and this well, see, that was my argument. That's my argument right there for Warner Brothers. Why they should? You're telling me right now they couldn't. I'm not saying pull it out of their ass, but that they could put together a Zootopia type movie
Yep.
that pulls in that kind of money
Yep.
with the ass with the IPs and resources they already have. You're telling me that that can't be done, and they need a fucking Netflix or Paramount to save their ass? No, you can't sell me that bridge. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
I,
But nevertheless, I am past my time, so I do need to go. I have work today. I have hungry doctors that are going to have all manner of questions. You think you guys are bad? Because, especially in the art show, those guys are always trying to get me with gotcha questions, and they fail
dude,
miserably. But you think they're bad? Oh, doctors. It's a constant, well, what happened in the 983 in the Byzantine Empire? Okay, fine. That's all right. I got it though. I got it.
You
So
got
yeah,
it.
I do. I do. But and of course, because today I do have English, but I also mostly today I have Greek classes, right? So, I don't know if you guys know that. I teach Greek as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because if I went to Greece and I tried to speak Greek, they'd probably laugh at me and say, "You don't speak Greek. You don't, therefore you can't teach it." Oh, well, you're wrong there, sir. I can teach a lot of things I can't do well. That's what being a teacher is. Anyway, I gotta go. Time to go. So, Grimlock, you got a closing statement for us?
Yeah, it's crazy, but we're already a week into February, and it seems
Yeah,
like we just swung Happy New Year. But
time
let's
is
hope for some
flying, dude.
warmer weather. My knee's
Eh,
killing me. I'm tired of this shit.
it's been pretty
Have a
mild
good night.
here, but you guys got hit. You did get hit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's coming, dude. Technically, depending on the calendar you're using, we're kind of already in spring. But nevertheless, Thundera, take us out of here, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is February. It is the shortest month of the year. It's really silly that it exists that way, but it does. It does. Somebody who we all pretend is smarter than us decided a long time ago that February was going to be the bastard month. And it has been since then. I'm not Chester. Don't. You leave it be.
Yep.
Uh, all I have to say is this. Chester's favorite one, because I'm too tired to think of another one. The master's not the one who completes his training. The master is the one who never stops.
Namaste. Later, everybody.